How are you once again this morning? How are you? Are you well? Now I'd like to ask you a question. And I would like you to ask the person next to you a question. Ask them, are you ready? Or do you have what it takes? Ask them, do you have what it takes? Ask somebody, do you have what it takes to be a Shujaa? Oh, I'm not seeing you asking, man. I'm asking you, do you have what it takes to be a Shujaa? I know what the answer is. I have what it takes to be a Cyber Shujaa. So that's the answer. Come on, tell somebody. I have what it takes to be a Cyber Shujaa. Absolutely. That is what we're here today to do. We're here to launch Cyber Shujaa program, which has been worked on for over 6 years between USIU, Serianu, and of course the Kenya Bankers Association. And they've done a lot of great hard work. And finally, we have a product that's going to be run out with the following things that they'd like to do. One is be able to talk about placement, the challenge of placement and how to tackle that. They're going to be able to tackle that. The skills mismatch, of course. Sometimes what is taught in schools is not what the industry needs. That is going to be taken care of. And of course, gender inclusion. And only 10% of cybersecurity practitioners are ladies. We need more ladies. Ladies in the house, are you there? Oh, good. Are you ready to take over? Are you ready to be Cyber Shujaas? Absolutely. And I hope the same for you who are watching us online. And we want you to be a part of this. We want you to be able to sign up and be really at the beginning of history being made. History is being made today, and we'd like to invite each and every one to be a part of it and to enjoy what this program has to offer. We shall be hearing a lot about it from Serianu and of course from Kba and from USIU here today. And we've got some wonderful speakers with us. We have of course Professor Frida Brown, very well known to Kenya, very well loved, served in Kenya for a long time, and is now interim Vice Chancellor or Vice President at the USIU, and she's going to be talking to us in a little minute, immediately after I keep quiet. I would also have with us William Makatiani, who's the CEO of Serianu Limited, who's been very much a part of this program. Thank you very much for being here. And with him is Beatrice Gishohi, I believe CFYE, who are partners with us and are making this project possible. And of course, Dr. Habil Olaka from the Kenya Bankers Association. Thank you very much, sir, for being here with us. We also have with us Kate Gitao, who's very well known in the cyber area and in IT, and I would like to see whether you've given me something. Okay. Yes, and thank you for being here with us. It's really wonderful to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, I see Professor Ombalamba here and a few other professors here. Karibuni sana, each and every one of you. We shall be recognizing you a little later on. I do not want to talk much longer. I just want to let you know that this is history being made. Please put your hands together and welcome Professor Frida Brown.
Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with you this morning on this wonderful occasion. Our chief guest, Dr. Habil, I can't read my own writing right now. Dr. Habil Olaka, CEO of Kenya Bankers Association, Mr. William Makatiani, CEO of Serianu, and a special welcome to a long-term colleague, Dr. Catherine Gitao, who's probably one of the first women in IT in Kenya. So why don't you stand up and let all these young ladies see you. She's been instrumental in so many initiatives in Kenya, so I think we really needed to recognize her. Well, on behalf of the university community, I'd like to welcome you, first of all, to USIU. I'm delighted to join you today as we launch the Cyber Shujaa program, a training and placement program, and I think that's an important indicator to note that it is a placement program. So not only will you be trained, but you will also be able to find employment. So it's a placement program for youth in Kenya, spearheaded by Serianu Limited, Kenya Bankers Association, and of course, USIU-Africa. And is funded by the Challenge Fund for Youth Employment, based in the Netherlands. This is a great milestone as we witness a one-of-a-kind industry and academia partnership that seeks to resolve the growing issue of unemployment in the country. And especially for young people, unemployment is extremely high. Before we talk about the project, allow me to tell you why USIU-Africa is a perfect fit as the designer of the curriculum. Our core business is teaching and learning. We were founded in 1969 and are the oldest private secular university in the region, with dual accreditation in Kenya by the Commission for University Education, and in the United States by WASC Senior College and University Commission. The university has an illustrious history of high-quality, student-focused teaching and learning that ensures each student acquires an international education in a multicultural campus with global exposure that distinguishes them in the marketplace. We host over 60 nationalities, and if you were here last week, you would have been privileged to participate in our Culture Week, with so many nationalities on campus participating and sharing their culture in terms of food and dance and dress. We also offer 35 undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral programs through the Chandaria School of Business, the School of Communications, Cinematics, and Creative Arts, which is one of our newest schools, the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, the School of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, and the School of Science and Technology. In response to the ever-changing dynamics both in academia and in the marketplace, we recently began offering an online MBA degree program. Our online teaching and learning infrastructure has been expanded and strengthened during the pandemic. We were among the first universities in the country to successfully pivot to online teaching and learning to ensure our students continued with their studies seamlessly. We are a member of Quality Matters, which supports universities to streamline its online course delivery. All these measures ensure that we continue to deliver teaching and learning round the clock without any interruptions. We are currently implementing our 2021 to 2026 strategic plan that puts a lot of emphasis on research as one of its key pillars. Our approach calls for interventions and co-creation of knowledge with user stakeholders, such as the one we are launching today. Over the last 6 years, Serianu Limited, Kba, and USIU-Africa have engaged in a series of research activities to understand the gaps between the ICT and cybersecurity sector in Africa. Some of the gaps include placement challenges. Kenya's 2019 census revealed 5,341,182, or roughly 39% of 13,700,000 youth are unemployed. Skills mismatch, according to the 2017 Serianu report. There was a mismatch between what the youth are taught in institutions of learning versus what skills the industry needs, leading to hiring and retention challenges. And gender inclusion. According to the 2017 Serianu report, only 5 to 10% of the cybersecurity professionals are women. The Cyber Shujaa program seeks to address these challenges by continuously analyzing the market and industry for ICT talent needs, designing practical curriculums for these needs, conducting vigorous training for the participants, and providing market placement and mentorship of these youth. We aim to train and place 2,000 youth, and these are persons between the ages of 18 and 35, in decent jobs, and by that we mean good paying jobs in cybersecurity, with 50% of beneficiaries being women over the next 3 years. The program enhances our university, industry, government, civil service society linkages to promote similar future partnerships, and we become a cybersecurity institute to offer a nationally recognized certification in the area of cybersecurity. Our Center for Informatics Research and Innovation is striving to be a regional leader and a major player in cybersecurity issues on the continent in the next 5 years. Finally, I would like to thank our partners, the Kenya Bankers Association, Serianu Limited, and Challenge Fund for Youth Employment for choosing to walk this journey with us. We look forward to partnering with like-minded institutions and individuals to place youth at the heart of the program and ensure we meet our objectives, enhance gender participation levels, and improve the overall cybersecurity industry in Kenya and the region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Frida Brown. Not only have you welcomed those of us who are seated here this morning, but the 315 who have joined us online from all over. We can see some of them from KCA. I saw different universities have joined us. So we're quite excited to have people interested and curious about this wonderful, wonderful new product that has been developed together with user input. But we will be able to take and absorb the different people that shall be placed in this industry. Thank you very much for that welcome. I appreciate it very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman who's coming up next has been known for many, many years to have been in this particular field of cybersecurity and internet, shall I call him an outlier in internet matters, .com generation as they call them. He is the CEO of Serianu Limited and the chair of Kenya HoneyNet Project Chapter. Serianu Limited, as you may already know, is a Pan-African cybersecurity consulting company with presence in several countries in Africa: Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, Botswana, and Nigeria. You can't miss out Nigeria, can you? The firm provides dynamic business-focused security monitoring and analytics solutions through a combination of consulting management services and threat intelligence. Mr. Makatiani William, who's coming up on stage, is currently leading a continent-wide, which is Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Ethiopia, effort to develop research-based insights on the state of cybersecurity in Africa. Before Serianu Limited, Mr. Makatiani, of course, was with Deloitte & Touche, RSA Securities, Dell EMC and Corporation, and the Federal Reserve Bank in Boston. Federal Reserve Bank must be Federal Reserve Bank of the United States of America. Mr. Makatiani has a strong passion for cybersecurity issues and with emphasis on research-based consulting. Now that's very important. And he has over 17 years, I think it's over 20 years now, sir. Yeah, it's over 20 years. Experience in ICT industry, focused on ICT strategy, analytics, risk, and compliance. He has led numerous engagements across the world, including Kenya, United States, Israel, Ireland, Singapore, China, Egypt, and India. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome none other than Mr. William Makatiani, giving us a journey of Cyber Shujaa program.
Thank you very much for the flash introduction. Sometimes when you get introduced, you wonder, how did all these things come on the paper and all that? But thank you very much, Moniki. Our host, Professor Frida Brown, Dr. Habil Olaka, Dr. Catherine Getao, Professor Wambalaba, our friends, partners from USIU, CFYE, and the industry, good morning. It's a great pleasure to be here today. I have a slide deck, but I'll just talk briefly as we wait for that. When you see all these events coming together, sometimes we forget about the energy and the effort. This has been a journey that started in 2012 when we did our first, signed our first program agreement MOU with USIU. And through that journey, we've been very persistent. We've been very focused, especially from Dr. Paula Msuva, who is here. I remember the first meeting we had, we didn't know what we were trying to achieve, but we clearly knew we wanted to change how we look at cybersecurity issues. So I'm very proud of that journey. I'm very proud of what we have done. And to be honest with you, there are countries that are looking up to us. I spend a lot of time in Botswana, Ethiopia, and Nigeria, and when they hear the things we're doing here, they want the template to be able to do that. So I'm glad we are the first ones to do this in the region, and we're very, very proud of that journey. Oh, sorry. So as I wait for my slides, I don't know, should I invite you now? Oh, they're here. All right, thank you very much. So as I was mentioning, this journey started in 2012, but at that time our focus was on research. I'm very passionate about research, and that's why you find me very comfortable around doctors. Yeah, there are more doctors here today than there are professors and doctors. So I'm very, very proud to be part of this journey, because without research, there isn't much you can do. Yes? And so we started this in 2012. As we signed up the agreement, we started doing the reports at that time. It's the first time we saw reports. At some cases, it was controversial because you're telling people what was happening on the ground, but a lot of the reception took time for everyone to accept them, but eventually a lot of the organizations accepted them. In 2016, we did our first cyber immersion program. We went out to a number of colleges, picked some students and asked the students to come to work with us for 6 months and just understand what was happening in the industry. With that, moved into 2017. Again, we started now focusing a lot more on specific areas of training, and these were just 10 to 12 students. We increased the number to 40 students, where we now went to look at different schools. And what we understood in 2018 is, unless you focus on the high schoolers also, to give them a sense of what is cybersecurity and analytics, it's a lot more difficult, because by the time they get to university, they already focused on certain things, and it was not as easy. So we started setting up high school clubs, immersion programs, and that allowed us to now go back and look at the students and the skill sets and what's required. A lot of the students that went through the program, have gone through the program, are actually all employed. We do get calls from government agencies, some private sector organizations. Do you know these students? How was the program? Were they successful? What type of recommendation do you give on the students? Then we moved further in 2020, where KBA joined us, and Swift Institute sponsored a research program that allowed us to look at, across Africa, what are we seeing in the banking sector in terms of the challenges in cybersecurity and risk in general. So using that opportunity, we strengthened our relationship. We released 3 papers, and one of those papers is used in classes in terms of teaching cybersecurity in the region. Another paper just gives insights on what we are seeing around. This year, we are proud again to be able to work closely with the same team, now with some sponsorship from CFYE, a great partner, who has allowed us now to go out and see how best then can we build a capacity. I always say one of the biggest challenges I see as a researcher, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who works in this market on a day-to-day basis, is when you leave Nairobi, when you have clients outside Nairobi, and when I'm saying outside Nairobi, I'm talking some of the rural areas, you start experiencing a certain level of not just ignorance, the lack of awareness, to a point where if there's an attack today in some of these towns, they have to wait for somebody to come from Nairobi. If you don't come from Nairobi and help these guys, it's almost a challenge. They don't have enough expertise. And just not in Kenya, but all the quite a number of countries across the region. And that is the opportunity that we see. So what are some of the key learnings over the past 10 years? Youth are hungry for opportunities. We have some sharp, very, very sharp young people in the region in Kenya. And when I say sharp is, we do spend nights sometimes chasing after some of these attackers. We do spend nights chasing against some of these attackers, and it's not easy. It's not easy because they understand the technologies, they're doing these things. And also on the other side, when we work with some of the youth that come to us or come to the organization we work with, they know a lot of knowledge. What else? Women are underrepresented in the tech space. So the statistics were very right. Almost 5 to 10% of the skills or the people we see in cybersecurity are women, which means 90% are male. Cybersecurity gap is increasing, and the gap literally means we don't have enough. One of the reasons why we started doing cyber immersion, because we were losing staff members. Literally, you'll train after a year, they start looking for opportunities, and we can't compete banks. We cannot compete a lot of the organizations. So the program started helping us at least to start channeling out skills. And then also cyber threats are getting more complex. We are now seeing attacks that are very, very different if you don't have the skills and the right training, and it's what you call the last mile. The last mile training is very critical, because you can go to school and learn about networking, Linux systems, computer, but if you don't know how to integrate yourself into the workplace, then it takes time. And not every employer has the patience to work with you and take you through the program. Employee retention for great workers is hard. We are seeing cases where we've just lost employees to an organization in Sweden. You've lost an employee to an organization in the US. They can sit here now based on the remote infrastructure, and they're being paid double what you're paying them, but they're working for a company in the US. So we're getting to a point where unless we continuously build these skills, it will almost be impossible to get them. The last one is concentration of skills in Nairobi and its environs. It's very unfair, very, very difficult, again, to get people outside. So one of the key milestones in this program is, if we can do 50% of the training in Nairobi, why not place the other 50% outside Nairobi, so that when something happens in those regions, we have people who can respond. The biggest problem in a cybersecurity attack is how fast you respond. If you're late, then you will lose money, you lose your data, you lose your service. And that is the challenge we're facing. During the 2017-18 ransomware attacks, it was almost impossible to get people to respond to attacks outside Nairobi, because by the time you're getting them, it will take a day or 24 hours, and they're busy and they're well paid here, so they don't get to go to all the other places. So that's one area that we're looking at. About the program, again, it's a consortium. It's ourselves, Kenya Bank Association, USIU-Africa, and Challenge Fund for Youth Employment. The target group is youth between 18 and 35 years. We had to come up with some numbers. I know some people say youth is all the way to 65. We don't dispute that. Yeah, we don't dispute that, but we just had to come up with some numbers guided by the funder. The project impact, again, is to contribute towards a dynamic and inclusive cybersecurity ecosystem for the financial services sector that creates links and improves decent jobs for the youth. When you think about the cybersecurity ecosystem, we are talking about the vendors, we are talking about academia, we are talking about the work, the employers. So there's an entire ecosystem that if we don't strengthen it, it becomes very difficult, because we're not doing this just for today. We are looking at this saying, how then can we extend it so that it's sustainable beyond what we're doing? In terms of the project outcomes, there's job matching. Our job matching program is about matching young people with decent IT and cybersecurity jobs that leverage their skills on work. They're excited to do. Number one is job creation. Our job creation program is about helping youth start their own business through initiatives which help entrepreneurs overcome barriers to entry. It's not something that I would say it's easy. It's not easy. It's just not launching a mobile app and starting a business. There's a lot more to it, and we want to look at that and see how best can we be able to enable that. There's a job improvement program which focuses on improving the decency of the jobs that the young people already have, including aspects of job quality, income, work-life balance, and social protection. Over the past 6 months, I've been talking to quite a number of organizations, be it SACCOs, be it organizations, county governments, and there is an appetite for this. The challenge is, how do you, again, make sure it's sustainable beyond what we are doing? So how then will this work? Number one, we're going to design a curriculum. It's a branded, tailored cybersecurity curriculum and skills enhancement program that addresses stakeholder current and future needs. USIU brings us expertise around cybersecurity. Kenya Bank Association is an industry association that understands the challenges. We are practitioners in the industry. We know what is happening where and how. And when you combine those three, you get a perfect consortium that allows you to look at issues objectively with a very clear sense of what you're trying to achieve. Now, we'll continue working with other partners, and I'll explain that in the next slide, so that we are able to enhance what we're doing, because our goal is not really just to make sure that the three of us are out there. The goal is to make sure we create jobs, and we create sustainable jobs. Number two is to look at youth recruitment. And our goal, again, is 2,000 youth who are vetted over the 3 years. If we get higher numbers, why not? Yes, but we're starting with 2,000 as a limit. We're looking at immersion. Youth receive tailored training and immersion. Some of it will be virtual, some of it will be in class. There'll be a certificate. The next one is a placement framework. We've already started engaging quite a number of employers on this. It's a very wide approach, and considering the successes we've seen in the SCIP program, we are very, very positive on their process. Then we have employer onboarding. One of the challenges, again, we see with employers managing cybersecurity, all these emerging skills, analytics, when you think about even data protection, security, is your boss in most cases doesn't know how to manage what you're doing. So part of it is how then do we enhance even the managers of these new skill carriers that we're bringing on board so that you can be able to interact with them and manage them. It's a very interesting case where there's an IT manager who hired a cybersecurity specialist and started asking the specialist, at the end of the day, I need you to tell me what you have done. So the cybersecurity specialist will come at the end of the day and say, I did these scans, I fixed this. Then the IT manager will ask, can you show me exactly how you did it? So I'm sorry, if I explain to you, I don't think you'll understand. You just have to trust me. But he didn't believe it. So they continued with this discussion until one time, the student had to, the former student, who had to call in the professor and say, can you explain to my boss how this thing works? And just to trust me. So we do have that gap, and we're hoping as we continue onboarding, not only do we reach out to the bosses or the managers of these new students who are coming on board, but also we're able to talk to HR so that they understand it's a different type of setup. A lot of the enthusiasts we work with on the cybersecurity work at night. They start working at 9 o'clock. So there's some flexibility. And if you don't appreciate that, then you'll have somebody there from 8 to 5. Yes, they're there, but they're not doing much. And then the other aspect is employer needs assessment, which is something we'll continue working very closely, especially with Kenya Bank Association, and to see how then we can be able to enhance what we're bringing to the market. What is our goal, or what is our 3-year goal? We would like to upskill 2,000 youth in cybersecurity areas, skills, 50% of them female. We'd like to improve the job decency of 1,000 of employed youth. We'd like to support 30 cybersecurity entrepreneurs. Again, ambitious, but we think it's possible. I think it's possible. Entrepreneurship, for somebody who's built a company for the past 10 years, it's not easy. But we're looking at that and saying, even if we get 5 or 10, it's something that we can pick. And then we'd like to develop and implement a harmonized cybersecurity deployment framework, linking the supply side and the demand side. The US has developed a very good program which is called NICE framework. And it's a program that we think we can be able to localize for this market. So by the time you get into year 2 of your university program, you already know where you're headed. Is it forensics? Is it data protection? Is it analytics? Is it machine learning? What is it that you're looking for? And then we build those, even with attachment. Avail accessible opportunities for youth, more qualified youth employment in the cybersecurity industry. Right now, we have a lot of people coming from IT operations. And the problem, just like you see, pretty much cybersecurity is intelligence. Huh? If you're coming into a forensics job without the right skills or the right curiosity mindset, it becomes very difficult when you're dealing with some of these challenges. So we want to be able to build those at the very, very early stages. We like to enhance a more gender-sensitive female mainstreaming in the cybersecurity industry. In our business, we found it very interesting. When you have more women in one of these projects, the perspectives are very different. Huh? They don't ignore things. And we are a 50-50% organization at Serianu. Our employees are 50% female, 50% women. When you put female employees in a project, it changes the perspective. They don't ignore things. Even in meetings, where certain people will ignore, maybe for ego purposes, the lady will stand up and ask, I don't think I'm getting it. I don't understand it. And those are the perspectives we need if you're going to secure our ecosystem. We need to increase youth access to better paying and stable jobs. There are jobs in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, there are jobs in Botswana, there are jobs in Zambia, there are jobs in Congo, there are jobs in Ethiopia. The challenge is, can we be able to maintain enough capacity here, and also feed that capacity? And how do we make sure that wherever skills we are transferring to those countries are good skills that will be able to sustain themselves? So again, how can you join us? We are open to work with associations, we're open to work with government, employees, and we'll be sharing more details on where and how, mentors, trainers and youth. We're already reaching out to quite a number of organizations. We'll be having programs across the Coast region, we'll be having programs across the Western region, Mount Kenya region, Rift Valley, and we'll be putting in each of those regions teams that assist in making sure we get the right candidates to work with. We'll also be working with corporates. Most of the organizations have skills, or rather have individuals who have skills gaps. We'll be looking at those, how do we support you in terms of enhancing that job, the people you have on site. For the youth in the universities, we'll be looking for certain criteria, which we'll be sharing that today, where you can go to sign up and how you can get started. So again, thank you very much for this opportunity. Before I finish, I would like to introduce Ms. Beatrice Gishohi from the CFYE to give us a little bit, just a few remarks, and just maybe explain to us why us. There were a lot of people who applied for this, for this. Why did they pick us for this? And what do they expect going forward? Thank you very much, Monique.
Good morning, everybody. Professor Frida Brown, Dr. Catherine, Dr. Habil, Professor Wabalamba. That one gives me a challenge based on where I come from. And I think we all come from somewhere, isn't it? But I'm proud, I come from there. So, I mean, I'm happy. I get working and learning and improving, but I'm happy I come from there. Yeah, so it's a pleasure to be here this morning. I think it's been a long time since I was around many professors and doctors. I feel honored this morning. My name is Beatrice Gishohi. I represent, as I stand here, I represent Palladium. Palladium is the organization that is managing this fund called the Challenge Fund for Youth Employment. It's a fund by the Dutch government, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So Palladium is managing this project together with VSO Netherlands and an organization called Randstad. We don't have an office for Randstad in Kenya, but yes, they're part of the implementing partners. So it's really a pleasure to be here this morning. Maybe you can say just something little about the Challenge Fund. The Challenge Fund has a goal of creating over 200,000 employment opportunities for our young people. And when we talk about employment opportunities, we are referring to decent employment opportunities. We all know that we have very many young people, and also beyond young people, who are working. They are working poor, they don't have decent opportunities, they don't have sustainable opportunities. So one of our goals is to ensure that the jobs created through this project are decent and sustainable. And to 35 years. We are particular about the age because we also know that we have a lot of child labor, and we are very careful about our reputation and the reputation of other institutions that are working with us. So we started this journey like 2 years ago when we launched the project in Africa. Currently, we are in 6 countries. We have begun in Kenya, we are in Uganda, Nigeria, Egypt, Jordan, and we have upcoming opportunities in other countries. And for that reason, we are also planning to launch another call for Kenya. So I'm sure maybe some of us listening today will be one of our applicants, some of our applicants going forward. Why am I excited to be here this morning? Because when I see the consortium that we have in Serianu, and when I talk about Serianu, I'm referring to the whole consortium because it's Serianu, USIU, and Kenya Bankers Association, just as the project goes by the name Serianu. Yeah? When I look at the consortium that we have, it has industry experts, it has unknowledge institutions, so it is backed by research, and we have practitioners. So we are talking about a well-researched project. And I think this gives me a lot of confidence, even as I think about working with Serianu. And I have no doubt. I have told them over and over that I believe in this project, maybe more than they believe. Yeah, I feel like I am already immersed. I see we have a lot of cyber immersion, and for this project, I feel like I'm already immersed into it, and I believe they are going to deliver this project. Our fund has 2 aspects. We are offering a grant to the implementing partners, and beyond giving a grant, we are also offering a lot of technical assistance, meaning that we don't just give you the money and tell you bring the jobs. We want to walk this journey with you. And by technical assistance, we mean that you identify the gaps that you have in the course of implementing this project, and CFYE steps in to offer expertise to ensure that we bridge this gap, and we do anything possible to ensure that this project is delivered in time or even before time. So we are very happy to work with Serianu and other implementing partners. Currently in Kenya, we have 11 implementing partners, and we have targeted for the first call to offer at least 35,000 jobs for Kenyan youth. So, and that is just the beginning. Yeah. And as I mentioned, we have another call, so we are going to raise this number, hopefully to 50,000. Kenya is huge across Africa, yeah? When I hear Professor Makatieni talking, I say yes, because why can't we be the next exporters of cyber professionals from Kenya? We can be, isn't it? Yeah, so when he says that we are losing our employees to Sweden, we are losing, I'm happy because I'm thinking we are becoming the key exporters of cyber security professionals. And I think that's a good way to go, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm really, really excited to be here. And all I can say is that I want to wish Serianu all the best. Please know that CFYE is here to work with you. And when you deliver, we have delivered. So we are looking forward to a successful project. I don't know whether my colleagues are here, Paul and Naomi. Maybe they're still on the way. So thank you very much again. And again, I feel honored. All the best.
Thank you very much, Beatrice Geshohi. You have so much passion. It's contagious. I was feeling like now I'm also getting immersed because of the passion that you have. William, you've done a good job. Your funder is as passionate as you, if not more passionate than you are. We're talking about passion. We have a lot of questions online, and the interaction online is blowing us out of this world, I tell you. You look at some of the questions that we're getting. Someone called Douglas asked, why are we targeting universities only and not technical institutions? Sorry, Douglas. In fact, very good question. We are also targeting youth in technical universities, and other employed youth as well, who are already in the cyber area. So, yes, and even if you're not in cyber area, you're interested in this area, come, register, and we shall be showing you how to register in a little minute. Can you access the program? Yes, you can access the program. How do we register? We shall, immediately after the official launch, we shall share a sign-up link. So there shall be a sign-up link, and I don't know whether I'm allowed to say this right now, but the first few will probably get scholarships. So be sure to be the first to register for this particular program. Yes, a youth registration link is here, and I will be able to share that with you a little later on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to move on. We talked about industry user involvement in building of this particular program. The program has had the users of this program inputting into it, so that what we are getting out will be able to give us good placement in jobs, and indeed the skills match would be excellent for what is required in the industry. And you heard William talk about that. The next gentleman who's coming on stage is very, very conversant with what we're talking about today. Not only did he do his doctorate dissertation on let's see what it is, the influence of strategic leadership on the implementation of strategy in commercial banks in Kenya. He knows a lot about banks, but he also has a master's in finance from the Manchester Business School in UK. Not only that, he has electrical engineering degree from the University of Nairobi, and not only that, he is an alumnus of USIU, and he did a doctorate degree in business administration from this USIU university. He has been involved in banks, including the bank Indo-Suez, which is now Bank of Africa. He's been internal auditor there. He's been, of course, had a career in PricewaterhouseCoopers. He's well known in boards in HELP, in KDIC, in KEPSA, ALB, NRF, which is the National Research Foundation, or National Research Fund, sorry. He is currently the CEO of the Kenya Bank Association. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Habil Olaka.
Yeah, thank you very much. just like William was surprised by the introduction, I'm equally more surprised. I don't know whether that's me or somebody else. But let me start by, first of all, recognizing our host today, the Vice Chancellor of USIU-Africa, Professor Frida Brown. Let me also recognize the CEO of Serianu Limited, our partner in this project, Mr. William Makatiani. Let me also recognize one person who has been introduced today, Dr. Catherine Getao, an ICT authority, whose last assignment was with the ICT authority. Let me also recognize Professor Francis Wambalaba. We come a long way in this journey. And let me also recognize one person who has made it possible for us to get this funding for this project, who has just spoken a little bit before me, and that's Beatrice Gishoi, who is representing the entity that is managing the fund on behalf of the CFYE. Let me also recognize all the participants here today, and in particular those who are joining us via virtual connection, and all the others who are here today. Good morning. Indeed, today I'm really excited to be here visiting this university once again, but this time as a guest and not as a student. I was here about 5 years ago. In fact, when I arrived today, I could not locate the venue because the place has changed so much, and I was just here 5 years ago, which shows that you're really doing something on developing the infrastructure for imparting knowledge. And on behalf of the Kenya Bankers Association, I would really like to appreciate the continuing relationship and partnership between USIU-Africa, Serianu Limited, and of course in our latest joint initiative, which we are launching today, the Cyber Shujaa, the Cybersecurity Training and Placement Program, targeting the youth in Kenya. I note with a lot of satisfaction that this initiative resonates very well with the efforts that are being made by the sector, by the stakeholders across the various sectors towards advancing the financial inclusion agenda, considering the increasing uptake of digital financial solutions. It's the ambition of the banking industry through KBA to continue spurring growth in the economy through innovation. This commitment is firmly entrenched in the Kba Strategic Plan, which covers the period 2019 to 2023. Under the plan, the banking industry has a collective aspiration to leverage on technology to further access to affordable banking services and a better banking experience across our diverse banking public demographics. My own experience is that if you, for example, carried out a survey today covering bankers and consumers, and you ask them for the main area of concern, normally the question is framed in the sense that, what keeps you awake all night? Most probably, the answer you'll get, the first one would be targeting on access to banking services. Somebody will talk about SMEs are not accessing financial services. It will be the disadvantaged segments of the community, be it the youth, be it the women, be it the people with disabilities, be it the SMEs, name them. It will be talking about access. Or even people in the rural areas who have got a major problem in terms of accessing financial services. That's one angle to the problem. The other problem most likely will obviously touch on the cost of those banking services. The main concern will be the fact that loans are expensive, accessing banking services is expensive, these banks are charging us an arm and a leg. It will be put in various formats, but essentially, those will be the two problems: access and cost. And interesting enough, the solution to those two problems, that twin problem, is actually leveraging on technology. Leveraging on technology, and banks have begun walking that journey in terms of addressing these challenges. They are leveraging on technology, and leveraging on technology significantly so. According to the Banking Industry Customer Satisfaction Survey of 2021, the switch to digital platforms, especially precipitated by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, has continued to sustain. The survey's findings show that up to 60% of the banking public prefer contactless financial services through transaction platforms such as the mobile phone, the internet, and even cards. So while the uptake of these platforms continues to support financial inclusion across demographics, cases of digital fraud have also increased. Increasingly, fraudsters continue to target vulnerable users through identity theft, social engineering, phishing emails, among other forms of fraud that exploit low levels of awareness on the part of the consumers. The evolving fraud trends threaten gains that have been achieved in the economy over the past decades, making it necessary for stakeholders to work together towards containing it. Currently, efforts being implemented by the financial services sector recognize the fact that today's digital financial ecosystem poses complicated challenges. I firmly believe that these challenges can be addressed through cross-sector collaboration. The Cyber Shujaa Cybersecurity Training and Placement Program for Youth in Kenya partnership is therefore an inspiring addition to capacity building initiatives being rolled out in the financial services sector. Another area, ladies and gentlemen, is data protection, which is one of the emerging challenges. In the past, data was held in centralized data centers. Securing the data then was as easy as access was limited to specific known entities. However, technology has now enabled financial service providers, their service providers, and customers to interact with these systems through their devices, greatly widening the exposure. As a result, no individual organization can single-handedly address the resulting cybersecurity challenges. Collaboration will therefore increasingly become a key frontier in combating fraud through leveraging on both individual and collective strengths. Like a chain, a financial system is as strong as the weakest link. Notably, there is now more focused attention to how financial institutions render their services, and the security of data, information, and systems is under keener scrutiny from customers, regulators, and the general public. The biggest threat to businesses in terms of cybersecurity vulnerabilities today is data loss, especially where regulatory compliance is concerned, including personal financial data loss, which can cripple a business if breached. Threats are becoming more advanced, attackers severe, and regulation is increasingly beginning to tighten. Businesses that come under cyber attack not only incur high costs from operational disruption and altered business practices, the biggest losses come from reputational damage and consequent liabilities from claims by customers and the regulatory penalties and fines that will be incurred. Perhaps the biggest challenge to cybersecurity is the continuous development and growth in technology, which presents cyber criminals with an ever-growing list of potential opportunities to exploit. In addition, cyber criminals constantly develop new methods of conducting attacks. Actually, this cyber criminal we can call is an industry. It's an industry by itself. And because most of these players in that industry are as well trained as we are, they are as skilled as we are, and so they can easily get very well organized to the point whereby countering them becomes a huge challenge. And therefore, it's important for us to adopt different approaches to tackling the cybersecurity challenges. The Kenya Bankers Association has thus adopted a holistic approach to cybersecurity threats by developing partnerships to tackle this specific challenge. Today's launch is one example of how academia, the industry, and professional players can come together and craft unique solutions to emerging problems. This is the second partnership following the study on bank fraud trends in payments that I think Professor Wambalaba referred to a little bit earlier. And this sets the stage for many more to come. The Cyber Shujaa cybersecurity training and placement program targeting the youth leverages on each partner's strengths. KBA will provide the insights and information on cybersecurity trends and industry needs. Serianu and USIU-Africa will provide the research and material to craft the necessary training content to respond to these needs. You may look at it as one partner taking care of the demand side and the others taking care of the supply side to close the loop. An added feature of this partnership is a focus on youth and job creation in a vastly growing IT sector. This neatly sits in well with our Kba Strategic Plan for 2019-2023, which is currently under implementation, for which we've just completed our midterm review. The depth of Kenya's technology penetration must be matched with a commensurate investment in cybersecurity skills development to maintain resilience and consumer confidence in the sector. Notably, this program targets the whole financial services sector, from SACCOs in the rural areas to microfinance institutions and other financial service sector players. This pool of skilled professionals will be the bedrock upon which the program will seek to build on Kenya's cybersecurity and ultimately help build the confidence in our systems and financial services. As the umbrella body of the commercial banks and microfinance banks, the Kenya Bankers Association remains committed to applying innovative solutions to tackle security challenges and will continue to engage on partnerships that seek to deliver value to our stakeholders, the banking public and the economy at large. And with those not so few remarks, I say thank you very much for your attention. Asante.
Thank you very much, Habil Molaka. I think I need you to hang around here because I'll be inviting all our key stakeholders in this matter to come in for the launch and signing. So can I please have Professor Brown here? Can I please have William up here, please? And who else am I asking to come up? Habil is right here, yes. But you know, it's going to be a photo session and signing, so I don't know whether we trust each other for on the distance, so that yes, we need to see your faces. Yes. Apologies to those who are online. We went off briefly, but we're back. I think now you can be able to partake of this wonderful signing and launch of Cyber Shujaa. Absolutely wonderful. So this is a big, big moment for Kenya. It's a big, big moment indeed for Africa, as we've been told. Yes, move a little closer, yes. Make it tight, make it tight. Make it tight, yes. Thank you. All right, look at the camera, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, as Professor Brown signs where the USIU logo is, I think it is. Yes. Professor Brown has signed! Dr. Habil Olaka, left-handed. You know, they say left-handed people are special, I tell you. You know, the Obamas of this world. Well done. The Kenya Bankers Association is represented and signed for. Absolutely fantastic. Next is Serianu. Okay, you're coming all the way around. All right, there we go. So the next lot, sit down, yes. So now you came this side, then Beatrice will have to sit on the other side. Yes, move to the next one. Yes, so that Beatrice can sit there. Doc, come this side, come this side. Yeah. And Serianu has signed. And finally, the Ching Ching has to sign. You know, without that signature, this whole... Absolutely. That is CFYE. That is Challenge Fund for Youth Employment. Courtesy of Palladium from the Netherlands. So ladies and gentlemen, please hold it up. I need them to hold it up. Yes, stand and hold it up so that we can have everybody see what you have signed. And let's have, get closer, Dr. Habil, get very tight to the camera. Yes, thank you. With a nice background there. Okay. Have you got that picture, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, this is officially launching. Lower it a little, yes. Okay, lower it a little. And then the cameraman will need to move. After he's taken the photo, he moves so that those at home can see nicely. Yeah? All right. The cameraman, sit down. I want to give somebody, who am I giving the microphone to officially launch Cyber Shujaa? Or you have to say together, we officially launch Cyber Shujaa. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Cyber Shujaa is officially launched, ladies and gentlemen. You can sign up. We're going to put it up online. You're going to see it on the TV, on the screen. Those you can be able to look to sign up. And as I said, the early bird will catch a worm, a free worm. Let me tell you, cybersecurity is not going to be the same after today. And you have witnessed history. You were told by Daktari, cybercrime is an industry in itself. Hacking is an industry in itself. So now this is going to make sure that we counter that very, very strongly. So ladies and gentlemen, I think my job right now is to ask that we take a break. We're going to have a tea break. Oh yes, yes. And the loos, the way we came through, the loos are at the far end of either side, both gents and ladies. I have used them. They're very, very, very clean and nice. You know, there's a new building. Everything is squinty clean. Oh, sorry. I've been corrected by Professor Brown. All the facility. Well, but anyway, this one is a beautiful, beautiful building. Really enjoying this wonderful new building. It's called the Science and Humanities and Social, yes. So that beautiful building. I hear it's only 3 months old or 4 months old now? 6 months old. Okay, yeah, excellent. So it's a very beautiful building, and there's a beautiful garden out in the middle of the courtyard. You can, in the atrium, you can enjoy that. We'll have tea, and then we'll be back here at exactly, and I am hoping that we're going to keep time. We'll be here at exactly, we can't be back at 11. We can? Okay. We'll be back at 11 o'clock. All right? Is that good time? Let's get back here at exactly 11 o'clock, and we continue. We have some panels. We've got 2 panels, and I'll be joined by, please come and join me here, my dear Nancy. I have a co-MC, a youth and a lady. She ticks all the boxes, and then she's beautiful as well. So that makes a lot of... All right, so we shall be having two panels. The first is bridging the cybersecurity workforce gap, okay? Skills, placement, and gender inclusion. That will be led by yourself. And then we have the second panel, Youth Unemployment Challenges and Opportunities, and I will be running that. So we have 2 panels before lunchtime. Each of them will be taking 50 minutes, and I think we'll have a really wonderful time together with those back at home. We have, yes, I will move, I need to move that? Okay. We will have online, and you'll be able to see how you can register, and even those who are here, you will have the link and how you can start registering for Cyber Shujaa. Are you happy? You want some tea? Some energy? Okay, bon appetit. Let's just go out this way. Thank you very much, and God bless each and every one of you. Congratulations, USIU. Congratulations, Kba. Congratulations, Serianu. And congratulations, and thank you, actually, CFYE. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, hi everyone.
Hi.
It's a pleasure being here before you. And like my co-host has said, it's quite a pleasure being among so many doctors and chancellors, and it's quite a pleasure. So, and CEOs also. So, like I said, my name is Nancy Moreithi. Being here, I represent She Hacks Kenya, which is a community of women. It's an organization in Kenya that was founded on 2016, and we basically support women in cybersecurity, and we're part of we're happy to be here for the Cyber Shujaa launch. So I'll throw in a few questions, like my co-MC has said. I have gifts to give, which will be, the question will be open for the audience here and for our audience online. So my very first question will be, earlier in the previous presentations, our speaker mentioned a few threats, cybersecurity threats that are in the cybersecurity space. So which are them? Which are the cybersecurity threats that he mentioned? We'll have 2 winners here and 2 winners online. Yes? Did she know, or did she get it on the screen? So we'll pick, maybe we'll just scroll. Let's just pick the winners from online first. Yeah, Winfred Maina said social engineering phishing. Is that right? Is that right? That's right. So Winfred Maina will get the first gift. West, I don't know who's West. He said insider threats. Is that really a threat in itself? Yes? Yes? Okay, so maybe Winfred, Maina, and West, you can talk to the hosts. You can send your details and liaise with them for your gifts. Yes, so I had picked you first, yeah? You said? Oh, okay. Yes, I'll give you a gift. Someone from this side. Yes, you? Sorry? Impersonation. That was also mentioned, yeah? Okay, I'll ask the second question. Yes, this one I want to provide for the students who are in the room. So, what is phishing? Describe what is phishing. Describe, I need a student. Describe what is phishing. Yes, you're at the back. Okay, hi. Okay, there's a request. As you answer the question, please tell us the school that you're from. You might have future employers here, so please sell yourself, yeah? Your name and the school that you're from.
My name is Chengeneville, and I represented Taita Taveta University.
Welcome. Thank you. Yes, you can come and receive your gifts. So I'll get to the... Awesome. I'll get to the... I need a student from this side. So there are different types of phishing. A student? Different types of phishing? A student? Yes, Ellie?
My name is Muli Eric, a student from the University of Nairobi. So types of phishing, I think I just only know one.
Okay.
Peer phishing.
Okay, can you, sorry?
Peer phishing. I think my friend there.
Well, actually, we have, we have gurus in the room. When you say peer phishing, the facials.
Oh, it's fear. Not sorry.
Okay, Mama Neki is actually speaking for you.
It's fear.
One more try.
Sphere. Spear. You guys are confusing me now.
Okay, maybe does he get something? Okay. Okay, yeah, but the right term is spear phishing. So, spear. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else from this side? A student? A student. I need a student. You guys are gurus. Let's give the students. Yes, you?
Okay. So there is email phishing, where the attacker sends you an email containing a link that you have to, like, maybe correct your information somewhere, or I don't know. And, okay. And...
Please introduce yourself also and tell us where you're from.
Okay, let me start by myself. My name is Maria Salus Karabu. I'm from USIU. And my answer is email phishing, and where the attacker sends you an email containing a link and uses that to gain information.
That one is even four of these things here. Eh? I didn't get your first name. What is it? Yeah. Maria Salus. Well, yeah, in fact, come here. Come, Maria Salus.
She's actually playing for the home ground.
She's playing for home ground. Yeah. Leave your mask in your pocket. Put your mask in your pocket because Maria Salus. Now, who do I invite to give a gift here? William. We'd like to give a gift from Microsoft. I know it's from. What do you want? Ah, she wants the bottle. Karibu Maria Salus. Well done. Hey, makofi kwake. Oh, in the middle. Yeah, move there. Okay, good. Thank you. Asante sana. Okay, congratulations. Hey, that one has been so. Amesoma sana huyo.
I said using Google, which I'm sure maybe some of my colleagues were using. There were 6 types: deceptive phishing, spear phishing, whaling, vishing, smishing, and farming.
Do we need to give her a no. We give Google an award. Well, that you can get the answers there. Okay, thank you. One last one.
Okay, one last question.
Okay, from one of the speakers, what percentage of users of financial products in circles prefer to work online?
Very good question. Okay, I think you had raised your hand first, so I'll come to you. Sorry? You are disqualified. So who else? Students, yeah? Well, I'll need a student from this side. Yes, you?
I'm Ruth Jemutai from JQuat, and my answer is 30%.
Who's got an answer online? 30%, 45, almost 55. We have 61. We have 57. 90%. We have 45. He's wondering. I hope you are in the first session, Douglas. Yeah, online participants will get their gifts, yeah. 45%, majority, Meshach. That's a very vague answer. Okay, so 30%, almost 55, 40%, 61, 45, 40, 45, 57, 70, 50. Yes. Who said 65? 61. Saying Othiambo, you're the next winner. You can Sunny Othiambo. You're the next winner. You can reach out to the host.
You please talk with Joy and make sure that you find out how you'll get your gift. We shall give you two. We'll give you an Oracle Academia. What is this now? Okay, an Oracle button and an Oracle diary, and you'll also get, just because you're online, we'll also give you a USB from Microsoft. Oh, sorry, IBM. Hey, sorry. That is confusion. Okay, IBM. Okay, congratulations, Sane Adhiambo. And then now this gentleman really wanted to answer. Do you know the answer? What is it? You wanted to say 60%. Are you sure you wanted to say 60%?
He was supposed to say, do you agree with him?
Then come
over here. Do you agree with him? Okay.
Bana Makori, please do the honors. Give him at least a USB, and this looks very interesting. This is a Microsoft, yes. Let's give them two Microsoft. This, what is this? Wait, Microsoft, what is this? What is it? It's an organizer for your USBs. Oh yes, and you can also use it as for your mouse. So yeah, there you go, sir. Those are for that gentleman. Congratulations. Hey, you didn't tell us your name and where you're from.
Yes, my name is Hassan Adan from KCA University.
Oh, nice.
KCA, just down the road. Excellent. Thank you very much. All right, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
We will keep on giving gifts along the way. Some of you have answered correctly. We'll contact you directly. And those of you who are here are very lucky, because you'll also get a few things just because you are here. Just because you're here, not because you answered a question. Are you ready to be a Shujaa? Oh, come on, you guys, man. We practice this thing. Are you ready to be a Shujaa?
Cyber Shujaa.
Are you ready to be a Shujaa? Cyber Shujaa. All right. Nancy, shall I hand it over to you now? Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have all learned something. You need to take notes, yeah? You never know. You never know, okay? So for this next, we have an amazing speaker next. And I have the pleasure of introducing him. I'll say again, it's quite a pleasure being among the dignitaries we have here. I'm really humbled. And I feel it's very inspiring. And for the students who are here, please network, know these people, learn from them. So our next, who has not heard of a circle here? Who knows a circle? I'm sure most of us are part of one. High percentage, yeah? Who, if you're part of a circle? If you're part of a circle? Ah, okay, nice. So, the next speaker that we have, he's the CEO for Thai Circle, which is, he'll explain more to us on what, personally, he has an experience of over 25 years in the financial industry. He's a man of valor. We are honored to have him here today for the launch. He has worked in the office of the National Audit Office, Kenyatta National Hospital, KTDA, and he's also a CPA. So it's my humble pleasure to welcome John Mwangi. Please welcome him. We can applaud him. The CEO for Thai Circle.
Thank you so much. Our host, who has stepped out, the representatives of the university, Dr. Kate, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Mine will be very brief. As it has been said, I'm the CEO of Thai Circle. Maybe very briefly, very fast, Thai Circle is 30 years old. It was formed in 1992. Currently, we have approximately 80,000 members, and our core business is offering financial solutions. Financial solutions, that is deposits, withdrawals, transfer of money, and all that, which goes with financial solutions. I will mention very briefly about the youth challenges, what Thai Circle has done as pertaining to the young people, that is the youth, and also, as I conclude, I'll talk about looking ahead. Where are we heading to? Now, the youth challenges, the youth have been facing a lot of challenges in the past years. These challenges have barred them from achieving their full potential in the society. These are but a few of their problems that we as Thai Circle have identified over the years. Item 1, employment creation. There are about 500,000 youth who graduate from various tertiary institutions yearly, ready to enter the job market every year. However, due to the slow economic growth, corruption, and many other challenges, and demand for experience by potential employers, 75% remain unemployed. Item 2 is access to quality education and training. Youth in the counties have far less access to industry, specific practical training. The country's training institutions lack the essential facilities, global partnership or partnerships, and technology to prepare students for the challenging market demands. The result is that youth trained in these institutions cannot, therefore, be immediately absorbed into the job market. The next one is access to financial resources. Youth have traditionally lacked the security to secure financial assistance to advance their academic ambitions or entrepreneurial journey. Finally, financial institutions have avoided lending to youth due to their relative inability to comply with the high transaction costs, difficulty in assessing and managing their risk profile, and lack of the required financial documentation as well as collateral. However, as Thai Circle, we recognize that youth are the future. In the technology and information age that we are in, it is important to not only place the youth at the center of the business, but also empower the youth with tools and resources to advance their endeavors. Some of the initiatives that we have had at Thai Circle include training. Now, for those in universities and colleges, we normally offer attachment opportunities to the young graduates. Before they graduate, we give them a period of a minimum of 3 months, where we attach them in the different departments. The graduates in marketing, finance and accounting, insurance, and so on. 2, we also offer placement. We extend internship opportunities depending on available opportunities to young graduates for contracts ranging from 6 months to 3 years. Some of the interns end up getting permanently employed. Item 3 is access to financial programs. We have had partnership arrangements with the government, with government institutions and departments. For example, we have had a partnership with the Youth Enterprise Fund as well as Women Enterprise Fund to enable youth access affordable credit. Normally when these funds are available, they are very cheap. The interest rate per year is 8%. You know, 8% reducing. That is very cheap. That is less than 1% per what? Per month, which is very cheap. The only challenge with those funds is that they are rarely available. And when they are available, the amounts are normally not that big, or they are small. These youths graduate to become business persons and are able to access other finances available. We've been able to reach more than 200 youths, and amount disbursed so far is more than Kenya shillings 50 million. This is achieved through repeat loans. You see now, we normally have a graduation arrangement. For the first timers, you cannot get 100,000. You get an amount which is equivalent to your request and demand. So possibly you can start with a small loan of 20,000. You graduate to maybe 50, 70,000, 150. By the end of the day, you can come for $1 million or even more, depending on the history that you have established with us, and the future now is in your hands. These initiatives have provided the youth with opportunity to identify solutions that can create a positive impact around education, skills, training, employment opportunities, and empowerment of young people. Now, looking ahead, we are excited as part of this great initiative, and we are looking forward to empowering the youth with skills and opportunities for placement as we grow. We have partnered with Serianu. They are our very good partners. By the way, because of this cybersecurity challenge, there is a time some 2 years ago we wanted to hire a security expert to be monitoring our systems. But unfortunately, we are not able to get one who was qualified as per our requirements. So what we had to do was to outsource what we call managed security services. Managed security services is a service where you have a provider who monitors your systems 24/7. During working hours, after work, at night, during public holidays, Sundays and all throughout. The people who are ready for us is Serianu Limited, and from that time we have been working with them. They have been providing us with ERA systems audit, which have helped us in a very big way. And because of this threat of cybersecurity, because it is there, it is real, we have also invested in a very big way on what the bankers, where is Dr. Kiraka, the CEO, Kenya Bankers, has left. We have an insurance which is there for cybersecurity, which they call the Bankers Blanket Board, to ensure that in case we are attacked through cybercrime, we are able to recover whatever has been lost. But so far, we have been very lucky. We have not had an attack through these interference. We would wish to empower, through the partnership with Serianu, the youths in Githunguri, that is where we have our headquarters, and the wider Kiambu County, and are looking forward to make positive impact to the youth across Kenya. By the way, we opened our 10th branch in Nairobi in the year 2020, and we are ready to go far. So, Karibuni Taisako, that is the place to be for those who would wish to start the journey of empowering themselves financially and also in many other areas. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much.
Asante sana, Bwana John Mwangi, appreciate you very much. Yeah, let's join the circles because apart from getting money, you also are part of this cybersecurity industry. Yeah, you're happy? I will have a question when I ask the question, the first 3 guys online will get it. The first 3 guys who answer online will get a prize. Okay, are you guys ready? Kamani, you ready? Okay, here it goes. The question is, this is my question. In this program, this 3-year program of Cyber Shujaa, how many ladies, youth, are they planning to upskill? No, you're not online, boss. This is online, guys. Hey, I'm the teach. Yeah, I'm the teach. You're too fast. Okay, Dita Barongo and there's some earlier who said 1,000. No, 2,000 is not correct. Yes, ladies only. It's 1,000 because they're doing 50%, 50-50. Oh, okay. The 2 names I've said and any other earlier ones. Earlier than those. You give me the names, eh? Yeah, give me the names. Okay, we'll get the names. Thank you guys. Hey, you guys are fast. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Okay, we'll give you the prizes later on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about ladies briefly, then we shall go into the panels. And why I want to talk about ladies is because there is a lady who's been leading in the cyber scene. Actually, anything in ICT has been leading in this country.
Recording in progress.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yes, even that lady is also been leading in ICT. and she actually is the immediate former CEO of the ICT authority in Kenya, which is a big, big position. She has been in this industry for 40 years, longer than some of you have been born or have been alive. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for none other than my auntie, Kate Getao. Yeah, she asked the hard questions. Remember the hard question? It was her who asked the question. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. I've heard people saying it's a great pleasure, so I'll say it's a great pressure, because normally I don't believe in inserting myself into a program when obviously I'm not part of the printed program. And my second source of embarrassment is I was asked to give the history, and when you are so old that without having any qualifications, you're asked to give history, you know what it means. Okay, so I've been in the ICT sector for more than 40 years. I first saw a computer in 1976. How many of you were born? You can wave. Whoops. There are too many. That one was not born. They're pretending. 76. Okay, so there are 3 or 4 dinosaurs around. And in those days, the computer actually used to be in a room and you could look at it through a window. Actually, we've come full circle because now it's the same in data centers. But in those days, you know, it was a field trip. And there was somewhere on Kenyatta Avenue, there was a company called Data Center, and people used to outsource their payrolls because most companies did not have a computer. So they would ask Data Center to do a few simple things for them, like their payroll. Now that influenced me because I then went on to go and there were no ICT courses in Kenya in those days, so I had to do it in the UK. So I graduated in 1982. How many of you were born in 1982? Okay, there are a few more hands, but not many. It's gone on like that, but maybe what I can say about computer security is that when I was an undergraduate, there was even no computer security course within the ICT program of BSc. And that is because there was also no common internet in those days. We encountered internet in around 1989. I think, was it 8? Yes, when I was doing my PhD. And in those days, all you could do was email and what we used to call FTP, or file transfer program. Therefore, because it was so simple, and because there were so few people who had mastered the technology, the threat, I guess, was much less. And computer security was just for a few people. Fast forward, of course, you know where we are now. Everybody is using the technology. It's still relatively easy for criminals to succeed because we don't have sufficient skills and sufficient facilities, and then the technology is very widespread. So there's a lot of opportunity, not to be a criminal, but to well, there is opportunity to be a criminal, but I think for those of you who are here, there's an opportunity to be a leader in protecting others, because many ordinary people are suffering, they're losing money, they're losing their reputation, and so on. One day you'll invite me to tell you more of the story, but for now, since it's a pressure, I won't add anything else. But thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kate Getao. Yes, it is indeed. 40 years is a long time, eh? Do you know when you were getting to yeah, that's your place. When you were getting to see, what shall I call it, the internet and www, that was what we used to call it, www, the World Wide Web. You know, I think I got to access that and put 10 years later, in 92. Yeah, you were 82. Huh. 88 there, and I think now I properly geared it in 92, because I remember I was already working. My goodness, eh? Those were the dark ages. Do you know, if you did not have Encyclopedia Britannica, you guys may not know what that is. Do you remember Encyclopedia Britannica? You'd go to someone's house, and if they did not exhibit or showcase the Britannica on the wall, they were not a serious family. Do you remember that? Was that Nairobi? Was that Nairobi experience? Maybe that was a Nairobi experience. Because and then now all of a sudden, Encyclopedia Britannica and Wikipedia, everybody has them on their phone. Everybody can ask any question and have all the answers, except Kate's question that nobody knew except Abdi. You said Abdu? Hassan, yeah. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go to the panel. We're going to have a really oh, I even forgot my notes. We're going to have a very exciting time talking about bridging the gap between youth and the job market. And I'd like to invite onto this nice chairs over here to come up in front the CEO of ISPAC, Mr. Edwin McCory. Karibu, sir. The IT manager, Metropolitan Sacco, Ms. Christine Kio. I would like to invite the Boresha Sacco IT manager, Ms. Winnie Sergon. And I'd like to invite, let's see, who else do I have? Joylene Kirui from Microsoft. Absolutely wonderful. Please join us up here. And I think, have I got everybody? I think that's everybody. Have I missed anyone out? Daktari, let me know if I've missed anybody out. And I'll have some questions for you, and we shall continue talking together at that point. Yeah, there you go. IBM. Oh, sorry. Who? John, where are you? John Matoho. Wow, thank you from IBM. Big Blue. How could I forget Big Blue? All right, so there we are. I think that's a full house. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So I have a microphone here. This one is losing charge. It's losing battery. Yeah. So, karibuni sana. I have some questions for you, and I understand that we will put them. I will put them to you individually. Well, two at a time, and then after that we shall have an opportunity. In between answering the question, you can have an opportunity to sell your organization, Kidogo, what you do. yeah, plug Kidogo, okay? Can you see us over here? I know we're very short on these short chairs, but you can see us, eh? All right, super duper. Let me, which microphone was giving me a hard time? Now, I was given some very jelly-like sanitizer. Okay, thank you. All right, so, okay, thank you. All right. All right, so thank you very much for being here. We want to talk about, bridging the gap between the youth and the job market. As you know, oh, thank you. As you all know, just put it down. The youth, even from the research that has been done and been carried out, require jobs. And there has been a gap between the jobs that are there, or may be there, and the youth themselves. So I'd like to start off with Bwana Makori and Madam Kio. Am I saying it correct? Kio? Kio? Oh, Kio, okay. K-I-I-O, okay, just so that you get it right up there from Metropolitan Circle. So the questions I'd like to ask is, skills mismatch is much less obvious than skills gap, because it creates the illusion of employment and economic and social stability. As an employer, what has been your experience with both the skills match and the skills gap? And two, have you been able to make any headway or overcome these? So I'll start, of course, with you, sir, Bwana Makori. You can tell us a bit about ISPAC.
Thank you, and first is just to be able to appreciate the good program that has been launched on Cyber Shujaa. Just being able to thank Serianu, USIU, and Kba for putting this together with CFE. As you said, after just a few minutes, I head the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya. It is established under an Act of Parliament. Initially was Cap 531 of 1978. Then amended by number 15 of 2008. But basically we have a role of regulating the accountancy profession in Kenya. I think most of the time people see the big firms, PwC, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, and KPMG, but they don't realize that they get their license to be able to operate in Kenya from the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya. And we have many other firms that also get licenses to be able to operate in Kenya, to be able to offer what we call both assurance and non-assurance services. Assurance relate to auditing of either financial statements or being able to get into other audit services that are defined in various areas of expertise in accounting. The other non-audit assurance services include taxation, financial advisory, that then are able to be offered to the public. I know Serianu worked, William in Serianu worked in one of the big four and has a big exposure on what the big four do. So we basically regulate the audit firms, but also the individuals themselves. The accountants who are going to work in various organizations or institutions. I know many people call themselves accountants, but we have very few accountants in Kenya. The majority just use the name, but they don't understand what it means to be able to get that name, Certified Public Accountant. You must have completed your course as a professional accountant, and then register with the institute. At that point is when you can call yourself a certified public accountant. And even the word CPA, which means certified public accountant, is also anchored in law. And you can't use that if, and it has a fine of up to 1 million shillings, if you're using that title without being a member of the institute. So that basically is, in a nutshell, what the Institute is all about. But you've asked a good question about skills match and skills gap. Even from where I sit, I think many things have happened. One, technology has been with us. Kate, she cannot remember. We were colleagues at some point at the University of Nairobi. At the college in Chiromo, but I was there for a few years, then left, went to Egerton, been oscillating all through. But we've seen an accelerated form of technology coming in to take most of the activities, maybe from the year 2005 all the way up now to 2022. Most of these have actually been able to replace the routine activities that we undertake in organizations. But even as they did that, they created new opportunities that needed to be tapped into. The challenge that we've had is, even in our education system, is to be able to adjust our system to be able to tap into the new opportunities that are being created, because computers are not coming to take away our roles completely. They're just going to be able to assist us in how we carry out our work efficiently and effectively. But they create opportunities that take longer for the market or institutions to be able, or even universities or education systems, to adjust themselves to fill that particular gap. I think one of them is cybersecurity, and is something that is new, and will be there for a while to be able to get the right skills in the market to be able to actually undertake that role in many organizations. From my seat, we have a role that relates to standards. When students go and carry out or undertake accounting studies, they don't realize that there's another opportunity for you just to be able to study the standards and come in and being an advisor on how standards are applied across this country. We struggle to get professionals who can actually be able to assist us to effectively interpret standards. We have few technocrats, and this comes with experience and expertise, having worked in the market for a while. And I can tell you one of those is insurance sector, that we struggle every other day to be able to get a competent person to do, or just being able to advise on the application of those particular standards. And I'm just giving that as an example. So what it simply means is that even as we bring in youth or potential employees into an organization, most organizations right now want to be able to have somebody they can plug and play immediately, because the market out there is not waiting for you to be able to skill this particular person and deliver to the market. The market wants somebody who gets in and is able to completely provide solutions to them. But in some of the skills, when you get in some of the employees into the organization, then it means you have to take a while to train them to understand what is it that they can actually be able to deliver to the market. Yet the market is not ready to wait for you to upskill this particular person to a level where they can actually provide that service to the market. And this is where the mismatch comes in, because the market wants instant feedback and service. The organization clearly knows that we don't have that skill immediately. We have to be able to upskill it. Yes, we got in somebody out from the market. You have to upskill that. I think what has also made this worse is what we call the gig economy. people don't want now to be permanently employed in organizations. You want to be on a part-time basis, and you have to have your flexi hours at the same time. I can come in for 2 hours, work for you, and go away. There's no attachment to the organization itself, and therefore that creates an even bigger challenge as employers to be able to look at how then do we structure our organization to be able to tap in to that kind of employment, because most of the youth, they'll tell you they don't want to work for you for the next 10 years or 20 years. Some of us, we'll say, have worked for 20, 30 years in an organization. They're wondering, what have you been doing there? You're part of the furniture and fittings of that
inventory. You're part of the inventory
of that particular organization. And that creates a challenge, because one of that challenge is skill and expertise. Because with that, you're not gaining the required skill and expertise in your area of specialization or the profession in which you're in. You just become a high-level, trained professional without any skill and expertise.
So have you been able to overcome this?
It's a challenge, and that's why I say it's a challenge that you need to be able to deal with, because all employers I know are dealing with this as a challenge.
Okay.
And it's not something that we say that we have a solution to. I know we have to accommodate. I mean, we've had flexi hours, like from where from the organization, we've had to add policies that look at flexi hours. How do then people come in? How do they work?
Asante, yeah.
But some of these now you realize that you can't really do with the flexi hours on some areas of service that you need to be able to provide, and it will force you now to be able to outsource and let the outsourced service be able to deal now with the issue of
so outsourcing is one of the ways that
outsourcing is going to be one of the ways.
All right, I'd like to hear what the lady, Madam Kio from Metropolitan. Tell us about a little about Kidogo, please. You only have 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Christine Kio. I'm the head of ICT, Metropolitan National Circle. Metropolitan National Circle is the 6th largest circle in the country in terms of asset base. So you can join us and become our member. You're all welcome. So I don't want to talk a lot about Metropolitan. I'll just go straight into the question in regards to the skills gap in the market. It is a serious issue. Some of us that are in this sector, ICT sector, like myself, I've been in that sector for more than 15 years, from the time I left campus, and it was not easy. Back then, ladies, everybody thought ICT is just meant for men. So, you would go into forums and people will be there asking you, hey, you're a lady in the ICT sector. Oh, wow, interesting. So it's been a journey, and I thank God that we are here where we are, and more ladies are also taking up that role. So the ladies in colleges and universities, please feel encouraged. It's a sector you can get in and do well, just like our fellow men out there. So now, in regards to the skills gap, it is a serious issue. Some of us learned, have been forced to learn all these issues when you're already employed, because back then some of these things were never being taught, and you had, to just, because you're already there and the issue is here, you need to, do research, go out there, do some courses, learn the hard way, learn at the job. So currently it's a serious gap when it comes to matters, especially cybersecurity and information security. Mostly when people are doing ICT, We are venturing into database administration, infrastructure, not really security. So it's a gap. So as you find that as an employer, yes, we are in the era where that cybersecurity is a serious threat, especially us that are in the financial sector. So what do? Yes, you want to employ people who can come in, offer these services, but very few are out there. And then they also, because they know there are few, of course their salaries be up here. So getting them is not easy. Yeah. So you resort to looking for other solutions. In this case, MSSPs, the likes of Serianu. You have now to outsource, and then also outsourcing is not like it's also cheap. But then, since you need it, you need this service, you just have to outsource. So, I think one of the things that the government or institutions out there need to do is, since you have seen there's this issue, what do? We need some of these programs is a good start. Actually, it's a really, really good start now that it's starting from the university level, college, having the Z generation and the millennials. The Z generation is a generation that is very tech savvy, so I'm sure this is an area that they would find interesting.
This is the Z generation?
Yes.
As guys, we say Z. Z, yeah?
Okay.
No, go ahead.
That generation, yes. I would encourage them to get into such programs so that we get these skills. Then you'll find the market is ready for you. Because if we're having this gap of skills currently, it's an area where you can say, yes, this is an area I need to venture into.
So it's also a responsibility of the individual to upskill themselves and fill that gap.
Yes, even the ones that our
already
generation that we are already in the market, we also need to upscale our skills. Technology changes every other day.
Okay.
And then also maybe the government can also do more in terms of having now these programs in the colleges, universities, so that we try and fill this gap so that we also create employment anyway. It's a way of creating employment for our people.
You want to add something very briefly, my boss? Okay. And then after that, I have a question for John.
I think I agree, and what I just want to mention, there's a study that was done by Harvard Business, and also there's another study by Deloitte and PwC, which says that by the time you leave school or university or whatever program that you're undertaking, 40% of what you've learned is irrelevant.
Okay.
So what that simply means, by the time you're getting to the market and getting employed, 40% of what you're taught
has already passed.
So
it's redundant. It's redundant information.
It is redundant information that you can't use anymore.
Oh, wow.
15% of it will only apply in your first year of employment.
And then the rest?
And then the rest now is what will keep you surviving.
Which is the remaining what, 2%?
And therefore that means is that we just have to be able to be in a constant mode of reskilling. I'll give an example of myself. I've also done IT. I had to do it from South Africa for 1.5 years. But it was out of a need because I was in a space where I was implementing an ERP. These guys from IT could come with technical jargons which I could not understand.
ERP meaning what?
Enterprise Resource Planning.
Thank you. Some of us agree in this area.
So I had to ask myself, how am I going to survive in this?
You have to go and
learn it myself, so that when they come and tell me, I tell you, no, that one now, what you're telling me is not the correct thing. This is the direction you need to be. And you see, it helped in being able to, there's a project that started that took 2 years to be able to implement, but after that it only took us 6 months to actually complete it. So, I mean, being able to have additional skill besides what you have, And most of the time, what we realize that by you being multi-skilled, it helps you to be able to efficiently and effectively discharge some of the projects that are going to come into an organization.
Okay, thank you. I'll give the mic to John. John, I have a very quick question for you here. It's an opinion question. They say that the employment rate in 2020 was estimated at 2.6%. In your opinion, does Kenya have enough opportunities for youth?
Okay, thanks, Mohiki, for the question. And before I answer the question,
Yes,
and
talk
also
about
for your
it.
benefit,
Yes,
I
yes.
think you've. I need to put IBM proper in this.
Thank you. Please do.
So my name is John Matogo. I'm responsible for academic outreach for IBM in the Africa region. And for his benefits, IBM this year will be celebrating 111 years of existence as a technology.
111.
So as a technology company, we've been there the longest and have been involved in a lot of the big milestones in terms of technology innovation. Right now, the focus of our business is on what we call artificial intelligence and on hybrid cloud. Security is one of the big components of our business. So we have a big team within IBM that focuses on security for IBM itself and also for the work that we do for our clients. It's a pleasure to be back at USIU. We've had a collaboration for, I think, since 2015 in terms of skills enablement, technology skills enablement. And the reason why we do that is exactly what Makori and Kio were talking about. It's really that there is a gap when students are graduating from university and they're joining the workforce to work for organizations like theirs. There is a difference in terms of what is expected, right? So what we saw as a business is let's go in there and actually provide access to the technologies that we sell commercially. So their companies will be buying technologies that IBM is selling, and so we are bringing these technologies straight to the classroom so that our students are going through their learning on different topics in IT and any other. They are able to access the same technology that they will meet out in the workforce. And by the way, as a company, we have technologies that are used in almost any sector you can think of, right? Actually, we say that in the course of your day, you must hit an IT system that is backed by IBM at some point or the other within the course of the day. So from financial services, the banking, insurance, and so on, they're using our technologies at the back end. So we've been doing this through training activities. So cybersecurity is actually one of the ones that we brought in. And the reason why we did this is because for many organizations, technology projects, yes, there is a company see technology as an opportunity to grow their business, but many times it has been a catch-up game, right? So you end up being forced to transform your business, bring in technology, but maybe the rate at which you are skilling your staff and so on is not really as fast as you'd expect. I mean, just a quick example, look at what has happened during the last 2.5 years, with the COVID. Everybody went online, right? A lot of organizations were not prepared for this, so they started pushing their businesses online. The presentation earlier on from the Kenya Bankers Association mentioned that a lot of clients prefer to use online methods for their banking, right? So some banks brought in mobile apps for their online banking. They had not gone through the testing, but because this was sort of a requirement, then a lot of gaps are coming in. And so this kind of skilling is what we're looking at plugging in from the activities that we do.
Super.
To the question that you asked very quickly, in my opinion, do we have enough opportunities in Kenya? I would say it would be a yes and a no. I mean, because when you're looking at opportunities, I wouldn't just restrict them to a particular border. Right now we've got colleagues who are supporting organizations that could be any part of the world. So yes, the opportunities are there, but we need to skill the youth to the level at which they can operate at any stage in the world.
Thank you very much. I think there was an inference that we can actually export our talent as well. Is that an opportunity then for Kenyans as well to go outside the country? What do you think about that?
Yes, absolutely. I'm actually, just when I was thinking about the history of the program that we've been doing, we have a number of students that we have worked with, I think even some from USIU, who are now working in Ireland and a few other places. So yes, the answer is yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So the world's your stage, ladies and gentlemen, younger ladies, youth. You know, when we're growing up, we're told youth is plural, it includes all of you, but nowadays I hear many of you saying youths. I don't know where that came from, but it's okay. Language evolves. All right, I want to talk to the ladies, the two ladies here, Winnie and Jolene. Now, you both are involved in your organization, and you tell us a little about your organizations, but as ladies, do you see that there is a gap between the number of women that are in your field? From the research that Serianu did, they said between 5 and 10% are only women. Then that means 90 to 95% men. What are the barriers? Why is there such a big gap? What are the barriers? And how have you guys managed to do so well? And how can others do the same?
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Winnie Sergon from Boresha Sacco, formerly Baringo Teachers. A Sacco is a Sacco and we cooperate among one another, and for that fact I'll not talk more about it. Our CEO has talked about it and my colleague has also said the same. So what I can just say is that as you join or as you plan to join the Sacco, we have an instant solution for you. Go online on Play Store, select Boresha onboarding app and register. Your details will get to the office and you'll be onboarded as a member of Boresha Sacco. Thank you. So to the question specifically, I've been in the industry, ICT industry for 15 years now. Don't ask my age, yes, maybe I'm a youth. I'm at the age exiting the youth, so bye-bye very soon. But nevertheless, the industry of IT currently so far is still mostly male dominated. The research is correct because for the various interviews that I went, for example, even for the current position that I am in at the moment, they invited 24 participants and only 2 were ladies. The second interview was 12, only 1 was a lady. The final winner was a lady. So that's where I am at the moment.
Dada,
yes, so the industry is for everyone. The only thing that makes you a perfect suit for that space, for this space, is you yourself and your self-drive. What do you want? Do you have your ambitions right? Do you have your goal in place? Do you know how you can walk that path to achieve the goal? Because the same orientation that we are oriented to when we go to campus is the same for the male and the female. There's no different course outline. The course outline is the same. Number 2 is also the aspect of being in a fear zone or a comfort zone. Let us not be that stereotype ladies for the last 10 years or so, but rather show up when there's such an event where we are saying we are Shujaa, Cyber Shujaas. Where are you? Did you wake up in the morning to show up? Once you have shown up, even if you wanted to be here for 10 minutes, you'll realize the spirit from the introduction and everything makes you stay for the entire program, and eventually you learn something, and you never know. Favor locates where there is the will. There'll be that spirit that always gets out, and you'll notice that you are noticed and you get to be comfortable in that space. You might not get a job immediately, but you'll get a mentor, someone to walk you through the journey, someone to make you know that you're almost there. You are in the right path, to let you know that this is the way to go. And that's why at times it's good to show up. Your presence really matters. So most for the ladies, let's show up, not only in the IT fraternity. When you look at the government as we are, how many are the governors, how many are men and how many are ladies? You realize that that gap is still there. We fear the top seats, we fear the table. I think we are used to being in the kitchen and bringing food to the table, but rather let's also be there, because where there's a lady, where there's leadership of the other gender, let me say the other gender, it makes it easier, or it makes it uniform, and it makes it universal and inclusive. That way, the decisions being made are inclusive and diverse for each and every one of us. So there is nothing difficult, only that let's position ourselves, let's show up, and also for the male gender, don't feel endangered, empower the ladies, because they normally say behind every successful man there's a woman. So for you to be successful, you have to empower the other gender. Thank you so much.
Hey, very well said. So ladies, show up. Show up, don't shy away, show up. Thank you very much. Joylene, what is your experience? And tell us about...
I don't know how I can top that, yeah. Yes.
Just show up.
So my name is Joylene Kirui. I'm in Microsoft, and I think all of us know what Microsoft does, so I'm going to sell it at all. But I do cloud security. I'm a senior cloud security advocate, so I work with communities, just empowering professionals and students as well about cybersecurity. And but my main area of focus is around offensive security and DevSecOps.
Offensive security?
Yes.
Meaning prevention is better than cure?
Offensive security is whereby we're ethical hackers. We try and infiltrate systems to reveal vulnerabilities in order to fix them before they go live.
I see. Yeah. So preempting hackers?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, interesting. Huh?
Yes, and...
smart girl, eh? Smart, eh? Yeah, well done.
Okay, and I was also in USIU. Dr. Paula was my lecturer.
Oh, wow, well done, Dr. Paula.
And one thing that I'm quite impressed with this institution is that it's quite intentional about having the right curriculum which is relevant for the institute, for the job market. And I was just talking to her recently, and then she's like, she crafts her curriculum to be relevant, like she updates it quite regularly. And that's one thing that I've seen lacking in most education institutions, whereby they're still teaching outdated content, which is for sure. Because I've sat in several interview panels, and we've seen that the skills gap is still there. So just going back to what you're asking about skills gap. So this issue is starting from way back, whereby even in the institution, in schools, they're being taught very old content. And then now when they're getting to the interview, they're like, what question is this? As in, they're like, okay, yeah. So, yeah. So about what you asked about inclusion, I remember back when we were in USIU, I actually joined USIU because of this for cybersecurity. It was the first institution that started forensic as part of a degree. So we started off as the first cohort for applied computer technology, which had specialization on forensics. And I remember we were the first group to graduate. We graduated only 4 of us in 2015. I was the only lady.
Wow.
But I remember when we joined back in 2012, we were still very few ladies, but I've seen now more and more ladies getting into computer science and getting into cybersecurity. And previously, before joining Microsoft, I was in Safaricom, and whereby the management was quite intentional about having 50-50 representation in cybersecurity. So I just have to, just appreciate them as well for what they did.
Big up to Safaricom.
Yes. So just like Safaricom, Microsoft as well has been quite intentional about the recruitment process, because you also have to go where representation happens, because you see Microsoft partnering with SheHacks just to get also talent around representation in both genders as well. And I'm also one of the founding members for SheHacks, because we noted back in SheHacks, K-A.
Oh, SheHacks, K, okay.
Yes.
What is that now? You need some of us, Oh, that! Oh, sorry, I apologize. Nancy, you tell us about SheHacks. Okay, she'll tell us about SheHacks.
Yes.
Okay.
So I remember back in 2016, when we joined the industry, cybersecurity was quite new at that time in Kenya. And we noticed that we had very few ladies in the industry. That's why we went ahead and founded the community, just to scale more and more ladies. And we saw organizations also approaching SheHacks to get targeted talent that is female representation. And I think we can also have more organizations here they should be quite intentional about having female representation.
He's back, he's here, you know.
Yes, because if you don't have representation like that, if you don't have inclusivity like that, it's like building a country where you have like 100 workmen, and instead of using the 200 people, you're using half of talent.
Yes.
So imagine how much further you would be if you used 100%.
It's like an aeroplane using only one engine instead of the two engines. You know?
Exactly. And you also mentioned about the perspective of ladies in the boardroom, even in the workspace. Our perspective or way of thinking is quite different, which also gives you an avenue of going far and far, also delivering to the business. So yeah, why not? Yeah.
Why not? Well, what do you think? Yeah? What do you guys think? She said it well. Give her a round of applause. These are ladies that are making an impact, and I just think I would like to urge you to please give my panel a real round of applause. They've done a good job. I know there are questions coming in online. We shall look at those in a little while. The problem is time. I have to have handed over to her 20 minutes ago. So I think I need to do that now. We'll look at the questions and we shall answer as much as we can online. Is that okay? All right. Thank you, those of you online. Please keep those questions coming. We'll try and answer them online, and we'll try and ask them to fill in the gaps as they come through. But please, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, give my panel a round of applause. Thank you very much. It's been really wonderful. I know you wanted to say more, but you've plugged yourself at least. Okay. And by the way, I'm telling you about women. Women are making an impact. If the CEO of the Government Regulatory Authority in ICT was a woman, is there any woman? Did a woman take over from you? No, a lady has taken over. No, then we have a man. Okay, no, it's here. Left foot, then right foot. Left foot, like that. But yes, it's a woman leading ICT authority. Isn't that something? Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. You can have your seats. She hacks. She hacks. Oh, there we go. She hacks Kenya. It's actually online. Please check it out. She hacks. I mean, like hacking, like in hacking computers. Yeah, like that. Not hacking as in hacking someone cutting. You understand? Okay. Do you need a microphone? Yes. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm handing you your phone. What we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm now going to hand over to her. She will take over the next panel, and then immediately after that, we do have a vote of thanks, and then I believe we're going to be wrapping up. So, Prof, please tell us a little more about yourself, and then introduce yourself, and then the panel at that time. And as I said, we still have gifts. All students who are in here, make sure, unless you already have one, make sure you see us before you leave. Only those who are here. Don't call your friends and tell them to come. Nakuona. I'm kidding.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. In the morning, when they're introducing the panelists, the list was very long in terms of who they were. You remember? Each individual CV had how many paragraphs? All right, and then the ones that have just left have some very nice, interesting CVs, but my next group, even better. My next group is even better. Who are we? I think my next group actually has the youth, and in this youth group, I want to invite Nancy Murady. We clap for ourselves because we are the youth. From She Hacks. We're also having Abby Barot from USIU. Abby, where are you? Come like a youth, huh? Come. And then we have Rhoda Mumbo from KU. KU ladies. We have Eric Mooley from UON. Represented, we also have Hope Helen from KCA. And then we have one who is not from the university, but he's been there. He's called Neville. Where is Neville? He's been from Serianu University. Okay, it doesn't exist really, but he's been in the Cyber Immersion program there, and I think he really had a good time there, all right? Welcome. So what do you like about my panel? They're young. We are going to take them through the FAST test, the one that usually lets us down everywhere. Whenever you reach an interview, there's always one important question, which is, tell us about yourself. I'm giving 1 minute each. Just tell us about yourself. All right? Welcome.
Okay, hi everyone. Hi once again. So I think I have dropped the hat of being an MC. I'm now a panelist for this one. So my name is Nancy Morithi, like I had said, and I'm from SheHacks Kenya, and I'll speak more about SheHacks. So SheHacks Kenya is a community of women in cybersecurity. It was founded by Jailin. We have Evelyn Kilel, who's also at Microsoft, and we have Laura Teach. So the organization was originally founded in 2016 and has been functional since then to now, 2022. And we've been able to, my role in the organization, I coordinate programs. So I'm a coordinator, programs and operations. So for that, for SheHacks, we've been able to run a number of programs. We have campus outreach programs, we have high school programs, and we also have kids online protection trainings. So for the campus programs, we started off, we launched it officially 2020, but we started off with one university actually, KU, and we've been able to grow, and we're now supporting students in 35 universities countrywide. So it's been growth. And yes, so with the high school programs, we've had programs in some schools in Kajiado, but it's progressive. So we are open for, we need as much support as we can, and we're really passionate about empowering the cybersecurity community here in Kenya. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Come on, guys, you just had good breakfast. Good afternoon. So I am Baro Tabi, 19 years old. I'm as youthful as they come. Yeah, quite the salespeople we have on my team here. And yeah, I'm going to represent USIU and the youth. I speak for the youth. And hope you have a great time.
Hello. Okay, I'm Rhoda Momo, current SheHacks student ambassador at Kenyatta University, the pioneer university for SheHacks. And and also I'm also a passionate ambassador or an advocate for cybersecurity, especially for the ladies, for Tech for Dev organization, which is a larger, I think, international organization, which also we have a program called Women Techstars, where also ladies in cybersecurity across now Africa. Yeah, thank you very much.
Hi everyone. I am Muli Arik, SheHacks student ambassador, University of Nairobi. Thank you. Apart from that, I'm a mobile software engineer at a company called Kweza. I'm also the lead for Google Developer Students Club, University of Nairobi, and the lead for Flutter Kenya. I'm not sure if you know that. This Flutter is from Google, so we have communities that help engineers. By engineers, I mean developers, mobile developers, to build the skills and to bridge the gap between them and companies that actually use the technology. So thank you. I'm also a student at the University of Nairobi, an engineering student. Thank you.
Hello, afternoon. My name is Hope Helen Duta. I'm a student at KCA University, a fourth-year student. We are the second class to have information security and cyber security in the information security and forensics in the university. What else? Our teachers have been really supportive with it. And the university too have put programs where students can work and earn and also pay their school fee in order to be able to support their learning programs. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Chenge Harineville. As I was introduced to this platform, someone said that I come from Serianu University. How many have heard of Serianu University? Yeah, there exists a Serianu University. Actually, I'll name it Africa Cyber Immersion. I'm a big beneficiary of Africa Cyber Immersion. It's a program that has been able to capture students from back in high school to even those in tertiary institutions. I was a student at Taita Taveta University just recently. There at Taita Taveta University, I was the leader of Cyber Immersion Club. For all of us who are watching this forum from online, I know there are a lot of people who have connected. I just want to appreciate you. Keep that passion in cybersecurity. More about me, I'm a hunter, I'm a bug hunter, I'm a pen tester. Yeah.
Hunter of animals, or what exactly are you hunting? Birds?
When I talk of hunting, I mean bug hunting. For those who have done bug bounty, they know. We hunt for bugs. We patch your system. You see, the system are created, but bugs arises. There are systems that they already have the old bugs, and there are new issues that arise each and every day. So we need to hunt for those issues and fix them. Are you with me?
Now I'm with you.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm hoping the bug is BUG. All right, thank you so much. And I feel really, after going through the Serianu Immersion program, what really was the impact of that in your progress in terms of career-wise? Did it help you in any way?
Yeah, actually it helped me so much. Before I joined that program, I had passion in cybersecurity. I was open to those ideas and opportunities, but I didn't know where to start. I didn't have anyone to hold my hand, or I didn't have anyone to direct me. But after Cyber Immersion came to, I first met them when they came to our school. They were so welcoming. It was easy to interact with them. You could be able to ask questions. They could give you a clear path of where you need to start and where you'll be heading. So it helped me, even career-wise. I was able to build myself, to equip myself with skills. Yeah, like if it comes to bug hunting, as I have talked about, whether even penetration testing, it has helped me to come up with the correct or the right skills to able to fulfill the purpose or my intention in that particular field. Besides, now that I was an IT student, I was a developer. Now I'm able to develop systems that are a bit more secure, that will focus on more security features. You know, there are people who are developers, but they like cybersecurity skills. They end up creating programs, but there are some key features that you need to focus on. There are features that you need to look at in order to ensure that this and this type of attack may be little in our system. We can't say that attack can never be happen, because there are vulnerabilities that emerge in every day. There are known, some vulnerabilities are known, zero-day attack. You know zero-day? Yeah, such. Let me not talk much.
Okay. Maybe a last one for you. When you graduated, and now you are going to work, this word job, what was in your mind? I am looking for a job. I have graduated. What is a job for you?
Okay, that's a discussion that I used to share even with my colleagues in school. We were coming out of school. Now you tell your friend, now you are going out to the field. What are you going to do? Someone tells you, you know, graduates come out of school and then they go and sell in, let's say like in a kibanda. I'm not saying it's bad, but there are other issues. People say, utaenda ufanye kazi kenye hata ukusomea. You know that quote?
I know, of course.
Yeah, so it's a discussion that we have always had with my colleagues. What are you going to do? You are in an IT field. Where do you target to be employed? What do you think you are going to do? But the field is wide. When I thought of job, I knew what do I want to do. I knew I had forensic skills. I can do digital forensics. I knew I can do a lot in the cyberspace, and I focused on that. When I thought of job, I know I'm going to be a security analyst. Am I going to be fixing this and that in an organization? Am I going to ensure that I secure systems? That's what I wanted. And then I am focusing on institutions that really need that services so that I can go and ensure together we become productive.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. We can clap for him. To our next speaker now, you have to be careful with the answer because when you graduate, something happens. Reality, you know what happens? That is the day your status changes from student to unemployed, if you're not careful. You no longer have a student ID in any way. So my dear, for you, when in what you do, what is your idea of a decent job for a young person?
Okay, so when I'm thinking of a decent job for me personally, I'm thinking of a job where I won't be told to sit on my skills because I don't have experience. I don't expect an internship where I'll be fetching coffee, no offense. I want one where even though my skills may not, my experience isn't as much as those I find there, the company will incorporate what I have learned and actually, how do I put it? I have a spirit to learn, where I can learn how they do things, where I can, we've been told even after graduation, it's a learning process all through. So where I can learn and better my skills and be given an opportunity to grow in the company itself. Also, I'd like to say another issue we face as young people in attachments and internships is companies that expect you to, how do I put this? Expect you to work for them for, I don't want to say nothing because we are learning, but for, they don't have perks or, okay, not a salary as such, but something to motivate you as a student, because as we are, as an employee, so, because when you leave your university or your college, most students now have student loans. They have actually, those at home know you're done now with your schooling. So what is the product of your schooling? I can't be, you finished your schooling and I'm still asking for basic pocket money, basic transport. I think that's also something companies should consider, that these students are also people, okay, I don't want to say people, but also need to earn to some extent. So medical covers and other perks that could motivate them even as they earn.
All right, that is nice. My next speaker. So of course we, now when we say decent jobs, because as what the program is all about, we don't want to get people into jobs which are not decent. So for us, decency also goes with how much you intend to earn. Then of course, brings me to my next speaker. How much were you thinking when you left campus was going to be your salary? The one which in your head would have made you happy.
I don't think I fit in that group of when you left campus, because I'm still in school.
Yes. What is this figure in your head? The day you leave that university, me, because now we are going to decent jobs. How much are we looking at?
Okay, I'm taking this like an HR question. I've been in interviews that have been asked, how much do you want us to pay you?
Exactly.
But sometimes you have to play with your words because maybe the company has a bigger budget than what you think you worth. Sometimes I play with a range. First, what are you paying people that are in the position that you are employing me to take? So, and also, the amount that I would love to be paid. Also take into consideration the economy that you are in. The bills that you need to pay, is the amount that you're going to be paid at that place of work.
Maybe I live in Karen.
And yes, you're living in Karen, but it's the worth that you're bringing to the company. Does it match that?
Yeah.
Because I've mentioned I lead tech communities, And these are the topics sometimes that we handle. Yes, you want to be paid 200,000. What are you bringing to the company? Will the company be able to earn 2,200K from what you're bringing? Yes, you're a mobile engineer. The app that you're building, is it generating that revenue that you can be paid out of it? So I can't give you an answer, but but current arrange probably something that can sustain me in Nairobi, or current that is, because after spending on bills and all that, you also need something that you need something in your pocket.
Awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Of course, as we speak, as we plan to package ourselves, we need to know what exactly are we targeting for, so that we also not really down, not ambitious, and also not over ambitious. I think maybe playing within what the company can afford. So, to my next speaker, what do you think are the challenges the youth face in getting jobs?
Oh, thank you very much.
You like that one, huh?
Because currently I'm in a situation which I'm facing most of these challenges. You have graduated, you don't have, you are just waiting maybe, you have not even graduated, you are just waiting for the graduation, so you don't have the certifications, or any certification for graduation. And also, most of the certificates you have, maybe they are from informal sectors, online. You have done these courses, some technical courses. That is what you have in your bag when you are going for these maybe job interviews. So sometimes you find that you don't match the job specification. A company, you find they need an intern. They need an intern who can be able to do programming. You have to have defensive security skills, you have to be able to perform in a SOC team. So all these things, I think they are challenges which, personally, I have faced them in an interview scenario where I have 5 panelists. One is a developer, another one is a cybersecurity expert, another is a quality assurance. So they ask you all these questions, and then on your end, you feel like maybe you don't even qualify. You start maybe second guessing yourself. So I believe these are some of the challenges you are facing. And also you find that you have not gotten these skills from your university, because if you look at our universities or most of the schooling, the curriculum is not like that. It's not providing a deep knowledge. It's very shallow. Like for IT, you find you are covering, let me just, around 6 topics. You have to go to networks, you have to go to now programming, security. Most of these skills, you don't go into detail of them, even practically it's theory. So you find that these skills, you don't have them. You ask questions, you stammer a lot, you feel that maybe you are not even qualified. So that is, I think, challenges I have faced. I've seen them, the questions are there. But if as a youth you are not ready to go out, just you push yourself, you have to learn these skills. You also network, because most of the job opportunities, they are not out there for everybody. If you are network, you don't have a good network where you will be able to find these links, these opportunities. You might be left out. You might be just going door to door to companies which even don't require interns at that time. So you waste too much time. So that is also another one of the challenges. Another one is now when it comes to experience. Sometimes you are asked maybe what's your experience, and also it's always connected with the payment. Now when the question for payment, you are asked about maybe what have you ever been, maybe a project you've ever done, and what were the variables, what were the output. So you'll find that you don't have that much experience. You have maybe done an attachment for 3 to 6 months, and you cannot fit maybe to a year, to 2 years job experience. So I believe that are some of the most common challenges youths are currently facing. And maybe when we come to ladies in tech, you find that there is always this stereotype, maybe most of these ladies, you can't do this, you cannot do that, especially in STEM, not just in cybersecurity, but in STEM. So in interviews, or you find somebody, they already prejudge you, so you always have to outshine and just prove yourself. So technical skills, I believe they're important, and that's why I'm very happy to see now the Cyber Shujaa program. I'm very excited for it.
Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, he said he was 19. I was 19 a few years ago also, so. Just a few years ago. So welcome. At 19, you're already in ICT, I think?
Yes, my third year.
You're in your third year. You've listened to all those problems they have talked about. As a young person, how are you preparing yourself for that?
Well, preparation comes with practice, yeah, because I feel like they're quite, I think, 2-3 years older than me, all of them. Also, every class I am in, everyone is 5 years older than me, 3 years older than me. So it's kind of tough being so young and so youthful. Like one of my professors always says, I'm 19 and the teen is still there. So being a teen, there's already so many problems you have that job comes about. You're looking at your girlfriend and you're looking at your career and boom, job. You start looking and start listening to people, then you realize that, oh, I'm not getting paid enough. Oh, I don't even think I'll have a job by the time I'm finishing. What am I going to do? You know, it's stressful. It might look like I'm a happy teenager, but there are problems. I'm sorry if I'm being truthful, but I was told, come on the panel and be truthful. There are already problems, and then there are more problems. Then you listen that you need experience.
Yes, you do.
I turned 19 this year and they need experience for 5 years. How am I going to get the job? Yeah? That's why I think when we come up with programs like this that teach us, yeah, they train us. Training is good. Now when we'll get the placement and we'll have the experience, they know we are going to leave them. Eventually we will, because greener pastures call better guys. We need to buy the Land Cruiser at the end of the year, don't we?
Of course.
10 years is too far. You see, I'm 19. So, for me, I think that life is always going to be tough. But then, at the same time, you know the saying that goes that rough waters did not make bad sailors.
Of course.
You have to be strong, you have to be determined, you have to show up, like one of the beautiful ladies there said that you have to show up, right? As like today you can see out of the 5 individuals in the room, 3 are ladies. Well done showing up. But now we have to be 50-50, remember guys. So well done to the ladies, but looking at the problems, don't forget to look out for solutions. That's what I'll say. Problems are always going to come. Yeah, they're going to always be there. But you cannot focus always on the problem. Because today's market requires problem solvers. Problem solvers, remember that. If you're solving a problem, there's a demand for you. If you're a pen tester, yes, there's a demand for you, because you're solving the problem. If you're working for Flutter, Google, you already have so much benefits, please don't come for our jobs. And then, yes, that's what I'll say. Stay strong, and don't always focus on the problems. Look at the solutions, be a problem solver. That's what I've learned. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. I like that. As we go to the last speaker, in the interest of lunch, you can see my size. Brazil, come. I'm surprising her though. Yes, she's coming. Yeah, I want to surprise her though. So you've been there, you've worked. What are these things you think the employers need to do to understand us, the youth? Because first, we will not wear what they wear. We will not look how they look. We will not have the 5 years of experience. And the words they're using are the ones they learned yesterday, which was not in my university. So, and I want also to remember that Friday is a weekend, you know, and that Monday they need to understand. So what are these things you think employers can do to be able to accommodate the challenges the youth are facing?
Okay, I feel that's a really good question, and I'm glad that I was on this panel because I can give views from a student view, considering I was not a student, like 2 years ago, and now that I'm in cybersecurity consultancy. I would say, for one, as from the employer's perspective, there has to be consideration when it comes to the experience, considering the problems that they have highlighted. Because, for example, I do cybersecurity technical trainings, the trainings themselves, and one thing I always insist on is, even for this field, from one of the discussions we've had here, cybersecurity has moved from the IT department. We have cybersecurity in boardrooms, we have cybersecurity in business. So one consideration that has to be made is, for cybersecurity, don't only focus on the technicalities of the candidate that you have. Because if I'm a recruiter, if I'm an employer, and I interview maybe an interviewee, and maybe there's that willingness to learn. They're not so good technically, but they know a few things. But if this person doesn't have the non-technical skills, those are hard to teach. You can't teach someone to be friendly. You can't teach someone, you can help someone be better at teamwork, but it's not really a skill you can instill in someone. So I would really urge from the recruiter's side, from the employer's perspective, to be considerate that when an interviewee comes into the room, don't dismiss them because they don't have, like you said, the 5 years experience, they don't have all these big certifications, because most of these certifications are very expensive. For example, most entry-level jobs in cybersecurity, they'll ask for CH, Certified Ethical Hacker, and that the whole package itself is around over 50,000 to sit for the exam, to do the exam itself. It's, I think, specifically around 70, if I'm not wrong. So 80,000. So you see, expecting a student to come into the interview room with such a certification can be quite the high bar. So we can also make consideration on the non-technical skills, which I feel are very important. You have to understand, I know we have so many techies here, and I know you are aware that right now it's so important to be able to speak non-tech. You know, because when you go into a boardroom, when you're pitching maybe a cybersecurity solution, even to your employers or something, you'll have to speak non-tech. You can't go there with the technical jargons, you know, because you have people in the room who don't speak tech. So that's a consideration that has to be made. Again, I'm grateful the fact that we have this program, the Cyber Shujaa program, because I know all this has been put into place. All this has been considered, the technical, the non-technical skills. Again, from the student perspective, this one goes for the students. I would also want to urge, for one, sell yourself. Sell yourself. Because personally, from my own experience, in my first years, I was a very quiet, shy girl, to be very honest, and I remember when I was doing my Cisco exams back then, I was the only girl in a class of almost 40. I know. I know, so it was really intimidating, because one thing I know about dudes in a room, they'll be very quick to answer questions. You know, so when something is put up front, they'll be there, you know, you have the idea, maybe you even have the answer, but you really don't know how to distinguish yourself. But that's when it's also very important as a student, please get a mentor, get someone, if it's someone who can help you streamline everything that you want to do. Because when I was a student, I had so many jumbled ideas. I want to do this, I want to do that. And I think for many students, even for those who are watching online, you might be a student, maybe you're doing computer science, IT, and you even told, you don't know what exactly to do. Do I do programming? I remember I kind of moved from that a lot. I'll do programming, I'll meet an engineer and I'll be like, no, programming is my gig. I'll do programming, and then I do something related to networking or, data science. They'll be like, well, I think I'll do data science now, I think I'll shift to this. But eventually, if there's someone like that, if you're still torn, you don't know what to do, my advice is try a bit of everything. There's something that you'll get a taste of, and it will just make the difference. Because that's what happened to me when it came to cybersecurity. I started doing cybersecurity, and I was like, well, yeah, I think this is my thing now, So also, it's very important to have a mentor, because mentors also help you put yourself out there, first of all, be able to curate a path for yourself, because you might have a mentor that is not necessarily, you don't have to necessarily follow the same path. Because I do mentorship myself, and that's what I tell people I talk to, that you don't have to follow the exact path, because you have different strengths, different weaknesses. Also, something else is I would really want to encourage the students. This is what I don't know, this is something I always use to bring out the picture more. For one, always see yourself as this beautiful picture. I think you're all visualizing a really nice painting. And let's say I meet you, maybe, if you allow me, I meet you outside, and I tell you, I have this painting, I have this great painting, and I want to sell it to you. But I don't have it, I actually have it in my house. Will you buy it? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Assuming a different scenario, I have the painting. I have it physically, yeah? And then I meet you, and I tell you, will you buy this painting? It's a really nice painting. Would you be prompted to buy it? Maybe, yeah? It depends. Okay, so maybe the idea that I'm trying to bring out is you have to sell yourself. Don't just go to a mentor, a recruiter, and just tell them, I'm good at this and that, I can do this. Use platforms like LinkedIn. Every little thing you do, put it out there. You don't have to know everything, and that's one thing I'll tell someone who's maybe struggling with imposter syndrome. It happens, or maybe you're feeling you're not adequate enough for that interview. Always remind yourself that you'll always be a student in this field. You'll always be learning. After you're done with the Cyber Shujaa program, even when you get to the workforce, you'll always be continually learning. I would like to maybe give an example. Someone in the room, Lawrence from Silensec. He has done so much. He's a manager at Silensec, and he's still continually learning, so that never stops. As a student, always remember that. Even as a professional, you'll always be learning. There's always be gaps, something that you have to learn, and also put yourself out there. Learn how to market yourself. As a student, make sure you have your elevator speech. Elevator speech is that 1-2 explanation, tell me about yourself, yeah? Something that you would, 30 seconds, yeah? That you would pitch someone you meet in an elevator, that's the assumption. So that's also very important. You have to package yourself, don't sell yourself short, because you're a student, you haven't done much, you're a recent graduate. With what you have, show up. With what you have, show up. Don't focus so much on what you don't know. You should know this, you should know that, you should have this, you should have that. You don't have experience, show up for that interview. And just ensure that your non-technical skills are in check. You're a team player, you're willing to learn, because again, remember you'll always be learning. So yes, I would say that was some of the indicator of the time. So I think I'll stop there.
Awesome. Let's clap for our panelists. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I also know one person who not only showed up, but she looked for it. The first time I heard of this program, somebody called Brancille looked for me. Hi, Brancille. Wave to everyone so we can clap for her. Come. Brancille is our partner in crime. She is definitely in the youth gap of 18 to 35. But what I love about Brancille is she looks for it. And because she looked for it, we are all here. So doesn't she deserve a clap?
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making time to be here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. We can move to the next step now. Thank you so much for coming. Remember, the program is about creating jobs, matching jobs, all right? If you are an entrepreneur, of course, we want to improve the work that you do. But for those of us who will not register, don't expect it to fly to your house. So you have to register for the program, join the program to be a participant, all right? Thank you so much.
Prof. Judy, round of applause for the other youth in the house. Hey, Prof, you're so live. Oh, you guys, are you leaving? You have to leave. You've got another session. Okay, you're the ushers. All right, good. So I'm going to be inviting Dr. Paula. Is she around? Oh, she's now here, yes. I'd like to make an apology first and foremost. I had other panelists. That was a very wonderful, wasn't that a wonderful panel? You enjoyed it? Yes. Now for my panel, I had two other panelists who I inadvertently left out. I just want to mention their names so that they do not feel that they're not coming for nothing. First and foremost was Mr. Fidelis Moya. Fidelis, where are you? You're very early in the morning. I remember. There you are. Thank you, Bana Fidelis, from Kenya Bankers Association. Thank you very much. We had a very big panel, as you saw, and would have really taken a long time, and I think we had talked about Kba. So, but thank you for being here. You were the first person here. I saw you when I came, and really appreciate you. Round of applause once more for Mr. Fidelis Moya. He's a director at Kba. The other person came all the way from Mombasa, so we'll give you free lunch. Regan Kai, how are you, Regan? Regan Kai is representing Imarika Sako. Thank you so much for representing them. I know you're also ready to answer questions, but you know, I'm sorry, I really approve. But you know, when Sako, you're sitting next to the Sako lady, so I'm sure you will about to say the same thing. You'd have said about the same things, eh? Yeah? So are you inviting us to Kilifi? Can we come to Kilifi? We can come, eh? I'll take your number. I'll come and enjoy some samak in the bay. No, it's what is it? In the beach. Yes, by the beach. Thank you very much. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much for being here, Regan. We appreciate you very much. And Mr. Moya, thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is now that time. I'm supposed to mention some names. I know I said some names earlier, and I know they had written 1,000. I'm sure those girls had written 1,000. Nina, they hadn't. Please check. Please double check for me. There was Nina and one other lady. I can't remember the other name. But we also have 4 other names that will also get a gift, and we'll have to find a way of getting them. Mahmoud Elasfore, Samuel Katana, Mudhuri Frederick, and Alois Kimani. Those are all men. You, what is the matter? What is the matter? Okay, so there's some ladies as well. I will put the names up for the ladies. I remember I read 2 ladies' names. You remember? See, I read 2 ladies' names there. Winnie, yes, there was Winnie and there was Nina, eh? Sindio? Or Nana? I forget. Anyway, this is IBC. These guys saw. Let's not change them over there. Don't change the things up there. Don't change the form. What form was it that we were changing last time? Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Moneki Magaria. I love food. which now tells me that we shall be giving each and every one of you lunch immediately after this. And please make sure that you interact with people. And all students in this room are going to get a gift to go home with, to remember that you are part of Cyber Shujaa launch. Are you ready to be a Cyber Shujaa? Good. Have you got the names? These are the ones, only. Tafuta wasichana tuweke hapa. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Paula Musuva.
Thank you, Bwana MC. Such energy. I feel challenged to follow that. Asante. Let me just give a vote of thanks. First, I'd like to thank God for making this day possible and gathering us here, giving us life to be here. I want to also thank Challenge Fund for Youth Employment for funding this program, for believing in us. Asante sana, Beatrice, Naomi, and I know we've worked very hard to come to this place. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Serianu, for taking the lead in this initiative and bringing us together as implementation partners. Thank you, Mr. Makatiani. Thank you, William, for choosing us and choosing to work with us. Asante sana. I know your team is in this room. It would be amiss for me not to mention them because they've worked very hard. The Serianu team in this room, could we just stand wherever you are? And I know there are many. Of course, I need to mention Brensil, who's our lead there. I need to mention Cedric and Jackie, Joy, Nabiha, she's not here, but she's worked with us very hard. Barbara, Neville, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for all your support, even as we made this day happen. Thank you, Kba, and the representatives from the financial sector. Patrick, thank you, Mr. Muya. Thank you, your team. I don't know if there's a Kba team here, we can just recognize you. Asanteni sana. Also the SACCOs, representing the financial services team, Tai, Imarika. Which other SACCOs are represented? Just wave. We just want to appreciate you and thank you so much for coming and for all the support. Are we clapping? Come on, let's appreciate them. I also want to thank you, the hosts, USIU, for this venue. I want to remember the New School of Humanities and Social Sciences. You are in the newest building in USIU. I just want to thank Anne Minyande for her cooperation, working with us so closely, the Game Center, Niera, the Marketing and Communications team. You know yourselves, where are you? John Sunday, Taigu, Barbara, thank you so much, the Marketing and Communications team. The School of Cinematic and Creative Arts, they're the ones who are streaming live. We have had over 400. We've had over 400 online participants, and they're seeing us right now. Zeddy, thank you so much, and your team. I think, Zeddy, you're with Duncan, Franklin, Joshua. We see you guys. Thank you for your good work. We also want to thank the catering team, and we'll be going there soon, right? This is led by Dr. Mary Mutisia and Godwin Jeru. They're using the new kitchen on the other side, so we'll be taking a walk there, so thank you. The facilities team, Leah. So I just want to thank all the people who've made this day a success. And the USIU students who've come tirelessly. Abby was helping us ferry things, and he's been in the panel just now. Thank you, Abby. I want to mention Ira. You guys just wave. Hash, Tipape, Nirali, Samora, Vihir, Eva, right? Thank you so much. Thank you to IBM, to Microsoft, to Cisco, to Oracle, to Silensec. Thank you. These are partners in technology. We've worked over the years providing skilled programs to upskill our students in data science, in AI, in networking, and we will continue the passion and the progress we've seen. Thank you so much. Please take our thanks to your organizations when you go back. Thank you for bringing us gifts. We invited you and you said we're coming with tokens to give to the students. That's amazing. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. So thank you, Joylene. Thank you, John. Right? Thank you, Lorna. Right? Thank you so much. We really appreciate. who did I see? Lawrence Mchilwa. Yes. And Sophie, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your partnership. I mean, I can keep going on, right? But I know MC's like time. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for honoring our invitation, right? I know people have come from different parts of the country to be here physically. Sorry, we had few limited seats. We only had 100. We could only take 100 in this room because of COVID protocols and trying to keep each of you safe. But I know we've had even many more attend online. Thank you to each and every one of you who's joined this event. I know we will be partnering together to make it a success. I know people came as far as Mombasa. I had somebody come from Mombasa just this morning. Thank you, Kilifi. Thank you for coming. Like, you've honored this event that much to say, I need to be here when this is happening. People who came from Rongata Rongai, Athi River. All right. Thank you, employers, for being here. Employers, potential employers, and we are even asking you to sign up and give us jobs. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And thank you, the youth from different universities. This program is yours. KCA. Actually, let me start with Dr. Kimwele. You're the first person who responded to my invitation. Thank you so much. And you gave me many students. In fact, thank you. You gave me the contacts. That is my former school, JKUAT. Yes. And also University of Nairobi. We have University of Nairobi represented here. That's also my former school. And also Dr. Getao was a director there. So thank you so much, KCA, Kiriri, Daystar, Strathmore. Is Strathmore here? I'm not so sure whether, yes, they came. Well done. Scott University. Where else do we have? Taita Taveta. Where? Tuk. Yes, Tuk. We have KCA. We have, thank you, Prof. Clive Onsomu. Thank you for coming with your students. We really appreciate. USIU, of course. Well done. Well done, guys. Well done. I really appreciate that. And thank you to the panelists, right? Even Baraton. And yeah, I think we even have many more being mentioned online. They're all represented. But then let me just say this program is not just for USIU. I was very intentional to make sure that we had the faces of the different universities here represented. When we give these job opportunities, it will not just be for us, it will be for all of you. So we'll work very hard on that. So thank you so much for your representation here. Thank you to our panelists and moderators. We really appreciate you. Asante sana, Prof. Judy. Thank you so much, Mr. Magaria. And of course, our youth who sat here at the different employers engaged and really had very good conversations. Asanteni sana, and the speakers for this day. And of course, to our MCs. You guys have done a marvelous job. Moneki was here. He was the first. He embarrassed me. He came before me. I mean, that's dedication. That's passion. Thank you, Nancy, for engaging, presenting SheHacks. We're really looking forward to working with SheHacks on this program. They already have contact points at the universities, so we know we'll be able to get the right partners on board. So asanteni sana.